Welcome everybody to the two-man power trip, the Black Man Thought and the Nerd Lifestyle. I'm Nicholas, Mr. Go with the Flow.
And I'm the man with the plan, Maurice.
And we're back with another edition of the Blerd By Nature Podcast. What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's up, man? What's up? How you doing, brother? Oh boy. Oh man.
Let's just go into vibe, guys. Let's take it to vibe, guys. Let me hear about your weekend adventure before I start on my rant. How's your weekend and everything looking up?
I don't think I did shit this weekend. Yeah, just chilled.
Chill time.
Yeah.
All right, relaxing. How was your week coming up to today then?
Friday kind of sucks, but that was about it. Everything.
What happened Friday?
On, everybody was gone, like I said, the last
Okay,
podcast. So by the time I got to Friday, I was in complete I don't give a fuck mode. So I wasn't trying to hear nothing from nobody.
Nah, I get you there.
So once Friday passed, and at least thank you Flex Fridays.
Oh yeah.
Because Friday was Friday was a half day. So once I got out of there Friday, chilled the weekend. Monday everything was all right. Tuesday everything was fine. Wednesday was nothing crazy, and today was actually not bad. Not bad at all. It was actually a pleasant day.
That's what's up. At least I kind of feel like sometimes on the totem pole it looks like we get the opposite end of the spectrum for each other. So I guess that's how we keep the stories rolling on Vibe, guys.
Yep, I guess so.
Yeah. All right. So you want me to go on my situation now? All right. So before all of that, let's talk about the good levels of energy going out. So this weekend has been brought to you by me and the captain. Now, the nickname of the captain belongs to my lovely, beloved, my lady, Kenya. She is my girlfriend. I'm highly not single. I'm booed up as fuck out here. So over the weekend, me and my girlfriend, we decided to have a date night. So we went out to Black Tap. We went out and had some of them nice milkshakes and stuff like that. It's really a good time. We went out to just relax and do things, take our minds off of, you already know what was the heavy week that I was going through. So just spending the weekend with Captain and just have a wonderful time. Like, Kenya really helped me through all the stresses of what was hitting me last week and just doing all that. So that was nice. Going into the week, we saw The Eternals on Tuesday. It was interesting the good movie. Just out in general, it's definitely enjoyable. I did like the story that was going through and all the situations. But that was just a nice, fun time being out there in general. We took some nice photos. One of the once in a dire mood that I will ever just, sit around and chill and just be out in the city. And, them people that always try to get a quick buck out of you and something like that. And they take your photos and they just seemingly be nice photos. So we gave homies some money and he actually took nice photos of us. So he's out in the city just doing boot up things and all this other bullshit. So it was really, really good. It was really good. And the captain helped me through all of that good stuff. So shout outs to the captain. Most love, always appreciated, my lovely girlfriend. But just away from that, my stresses of work has hit a different all-time high this week. It's only been it's only been 2 weeks since the whole situation gone down now with the loss of my other coworkers, and it's definitely hit a fever pitch this week. This week they were pulling people from different locations to come to our location to help out with all the messes that could be, but since they come from other locations that aren't as busy as ours, by the time they come over here, it's like they've never done any work whatsoever. So we have to help catch them up, or they're trying to, finesse and work along our spaces. Some people have worked out perfectly and fit like a glove, but other people you have to come following, kicking and screaming. It's like they do not know high pressure situation like our situation. So it just becomes a whole mess. So Monday we had somebody there helping us with the money and stuff like that. And it's like it was like person's first day. So it was just messes galore that we was just trying to fix up. So they was trying to help, but they was kind of causing more harm than good. And throughout this entire week, we've had somebody training beside us that was learning the ropes, but they couldn't touch anything for the most part, so they were just watching us do shit, and that became awkward when it comes to you being in a glass booth and everybody watching you. So there's just somebody sitting around, and when everybody's irritated, they're always staring at that person sitting around. So it was weird. Away from that, we have another person throughout the week who is trying to help as well, but they're from a different department, and they was just like whatever they did just kind of amplified what you did more. So having two people like that in the booth really just had it like temper a situation. Like they were taking people in front, but then at the end of the day, you ended up having to work on them. So that threw everything out of whack on those couple of days. And when it came to Tuesday, we was setting up for a big situation that was happening over at my job, because the senator, the mayor, a whole bunch of politicians were coming to the center just in general to give, the hoorah and whatever kind of BS speech that they want to give all throughout what was going on. It was like we set up so much and put us in such a situation to have like high pressure messes just for it to be like a 10-minute thing. We prepared the whole day for like it to be like a 10-minute speech, and it was such a mess. They had so much random music playing and was disturbing us, and then just kept badgering us about other little things, like we still have to do our work here and y'all are making stupid complaints about other stupid situations. So that was Tuesday, but we actually held it down for Tuesday. Today, as I mark today officially has got to be one of the worst days that's gone down in me working at the center just in general, because I don't know, everything, when I say everything that could go wrong went wrong today. You saw my messages from like 10 something. I got out of there late.
Did the old lady come back?
No.
What's so bad?
It's not even that. It got bad. From the moment I stepped in there, they said my coworker, who was remember when I told you it's a band of four of us, mainly four of us. One person works registration. Me and one of my coworkers, we know registration and the booth very well, but only us two know those two cross things very well. And then our other coworker, she slightly knows registration, but she really is in the booth. But I know things and I do authorizations. That's my main thing. But the situation at hand is the mere fact that I don't know everything that my one main coworker, who's been working in stuff like the booth and registration for longer than I. So there's little stuff that when he's around, we kind of need the information for. And he was out today. He called out, and he knows Thursday is one of our busiest days. So he definitely called out for main reason. I mean, as told. And the moment I came in and he called out, my supervisor looked at me and said, it's going to be a shit show. And by that time, I knew it was going to be a shit show for sure, because in the morning, there's like 3 registers and I handle one, and he handles the 2 new sets of registers because I don't know those, and he knows the code to start them up and everything. So when he was out, I had to open all 3, and I have like 10 minutes to set up. I specifically do one register because I'm the first one coming in, and I have to, when they let people in within that like small time period, I have to like start checking in patients. I leave the other 2 for him because he's moseying on in, and he's coming in to do the other ones. And that doesn't even take that much time. I need to open the main one that takes the main money going into that stuff. So the situation at hand is that now I had to open all 3. So I had to take time to open the one in the back first, and then I had to come into the booth to open the other 2. Now, at that point, I'm already, and you have to like sign books and all this other stuff and making sure everything's ready for financial to come down and bring you money and whatnot. So like, I'm taking my time to open, because these are like delicate situations that you have to open the registers. So I'm taking my time to open my first main one. So that's already, and then I got to open this second one that takes a whole bunch of time, that now the patients are in there and the line is growing, and it's a glass booth. Once again, people are staring straight at you. So it's mad high pressure situation while you're trying to fix up all the books, and everybody's wondering what's going on and why can't we start getting answered in and all this yada, yada, yada. So when I fix up the 2 books and everything, my supervisor is trying to help clear the line from where she is as much as he can. But by the time I start with my first patient, Now, I told you from before that there's a new insurance policy that came in that took over from another insurance. So the situation at hand is that my first patient I got was one of those patients that had to change over their insurance. Now, this is a start of where all things went to hell. When I was checking through the insurance and I was getting all the information out, I was like, okay, I'm going to print you a copy of your card that you can hold on to until the main insurance cards come into the mail, so you can just have that on hand. I started trying to print stuff, and then out of nowhere, the printer it's a usual thing that the printer just jams, or there's some small issue with the printer. I went to go print stuff and nothing was coming up. So as usual, I'm told to turn it off and turn it on, the usual. So I turned it off, and then I sat there and I let it turned off and everything. I waited a couple minutes and I turned it back on. Okay, it's booting up, and I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm waiting, and it's fully booted up and I'm waiting. And I look over and it starts saying a whole bunch of issues. And I'm like, all right, this is obviously not printing. And the line just keeps on growing. And I'm dealing with this one person trying to fix up their stuff that takes forever. So I'm like, okay, eventually I'm like, all right, I've waited long enough. I told them guys to come back at another time to see if they can pick up the copy of whatever comes out of the printer. And then we starting to take in more people, and more people starting to come. I'm starting to get the cavalry. Like my one coworker that I have there, the lady that I was saying from before was trying to help. She's a secondary person on hand that's coming in to help us. They're talking about when we started to hear the news of doctors being out left, right, and center after we started to check people in. And then remember what I told you, how I lost my doctor because she got let go? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they still haven't updated. There's still people they haven't called who's under her, like they're still making appointments for this doctor that's not here. So every time it's one of those days where she sees patients. So we had the task of constantly telling people your doctor's no longer here, and they have full physicals and stuff like that. And they just kept coming to us, and we kept having to tell them that. And you know how it is when it's your specific doctor, and a lot of people don't want to hear, oh, we got to put you in for a walk-in instead. It was just mess after mess after mess. The credit card machine, that roll of tape was finishing out, so that was a big hit. So I had to finagle and fix that going down. I like how that played into later on in the day. And then they were trying to make us set in patients on specific doctor schedule. We don't do that in our section, because when we used to do that, we used to get yelled at by doctors all the time. So we was fighting back on that while we still have a line that's still trying to check people in. People are fighting back and forth. My supervisor trying to help where she can, but she's the only one over there at registration trying to fix registration. And we've got this whole situation going down, and we got more people coming in for trying to help us. And every time we try to run people's insurance, we're getting errors all over the system. Everything's acting slow where we can check for people's insurances and stuff. They're telling us they wanted to change us from us sending people into walk-ins and stuff like that, because we have another doctor who they said yesterday is leaving us in like a month because he found a better job. So another doctor is, and we're hearing this on the midst of everything. And I keep signing the board for more situations and more things that just constantly happen. And then this is another day where people come in for big immigration physicals and stuff like that, which is a certain amount of money, and people can't use insurances for us. So we was getting big money left, right, and center. So I had to constantly get change, and we was running out of change in money and stuff like that. And like 11 o'clock came so fast. When I texted you that one time at 10, that was the only time I probably looked up at my phone, and I didn't even realize what time it is. So 11 o'clock came, and by 11 to 11:30, that's when I got to like do the exchange of money and fix up and write the book and a whole bunch of stuff that takes mad time. So I was already about to run late for my lunch, trying to maneuver and fix that stuff up. Right before I left for lunch, there was a situation that happened. Like, I'm the only one for some reason who in my specific computer has access to one specific insurance. And I had to leave my computer open so they could work with that system by the time I went away from lunch. Now, mind you, during this whole entire day, we're still trying to work with the printer. We need to print out for each patient that has a copay so we can calculate that up in the register and have that fixed out. So when we get that printout, we know exactly how to put in their account number and how to put in their how much the copay is and everything. So when we get that all through, it makes everything easier. But with us having a printing issue, we have to take a sticky note and write all that down from the computer, which takes even freaking longer. So we're all doing that because none of us can print. Every time we get somebody from IT, they're coming in here and they think it's a Wi-Fi issue. Then they fix the Wi-Fi. Then they think it's away from the IP address. It's just like, it was time after time. We came in with, like, literally at one point, one IT guy came and looked at it and was like, I don't know what's going on. And I was like, well, fuck.
Oh, that's terrible.
And then the IT supervisor came in and tried to fix something. Like, every time they'd fix something, and then we'd get like 5 printouts of the 20 of the things we printed out from before, and then it would jam and freeze again. Like, as I left that building today, the printer was not fixed. So that was that situation. I'm still going. So after I went to lunch, I came back from lunch, and somehow, I don't know what the hell happened, I was the last person that had the access to this insurance. So somehow when I came back, they locked my thing. So everybody was out. Like, the supervisors didn't have access. I no longer had access. The head of the supervisors didn't have access. The COO didn't have. Nobody had access.
That's awful.
So we had to finagle and write down information so we could check out another day and stuff like that. The insurance is not even resolved. That issue to access it's not even resolved. So all the mess just kept piling up, and we tried to save face throughout the day while nurses and everybody banging on our window trying to get our attention to check in other patients while we're dealing with patients right in front of our face. Like, we're not working on motherfuckers right in front of us, and they're banging on our window to try and get our attention, like we're trying to finish something in front of us first. It's like back and forth throughout the entire day. We're trying to handle a whole bunch of situation, and like just skipping all the way towards the end of the day where I'm like, at this point, I'm not even hollering. I'm making like side comments and stuff like that, how I'm annoyed, but I'm keeping it all in, but it's a slow seether. And I'm like, when I tell you I was like controlling mini fires throughout the whole day, that's literally it. It's just been constant mini fires. And the worst part about it in the last part of the day was when we was doing the end of day money. That's the money that just needs to go up. It's from the big register. Towards the end of the day, there was an error on the register machine that said that the little ticket paper machine needs a replacement. Now, it's not as easy as the credit card machine that I did earlier, but that shit was a premonition because this one started to glow red. And I was like, I told my coworker, and we both don't know how to change it. The only one who knows to change it is the guy who called out. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, yo, we're going to have a situation in about we're trying to hold that as much as we can, but we might have a situation coming up later. And then slowly, as we are starting to print out more people's paper, all I see is the red streak coming down on each ticket counter thing, and I'm like, yo, we're running out of time. We're running out of time on this shit. And at the end of day, when we're printing out the last bit of shit, everything crashes. That shit just crashes around. So we have to finagle how to fix that up. We have everything finished. It's about 4:30 and it's my time to clock out. But it's just the situation where it's like this last person doesn't know how to do this last thing, and I can't leave them because everything is signed in my name. So I can't really leave without me getting in trouble for leaving because everything is now in my name. All the 2 registers and everything, all that shit was handled. I took that up, and because that shit, we made sure no money goes to that side. So all of that was cleared up. It's just this last book. And you should have seen us try to maneuver this roll of fucking ticket paper for the next like 30 minutes after I'm already officially off the clock, but I haven't clocked out yet. We are trying to maneuver and work this situation in the midst of trying to call my coworker to try and see if he can explain to us over the phone how the hell to do this stuff. Like me, my coworker, my supervisor, me and my supervisor leave at 4:30, and we're trying to maneuver as much as we can to figure out all this stuff. We get my coworker on the phone to help us fix this ticket counter thing at the last minute. And yo, you should have seen, it was like our team won the Super Bowl when we got it finally fixed and we had it printing out the last piece of paper after working at it for like 30 minutes straight. This one minuscule thing held us back for so long, and when it finally worked, we all yelled in like unison happiness. And I made sure everything was signed off for my coworker to take the last bit of information upstairs when I ran to go clock out. And then when I go clock out, remember how I told you my official work is like authorizations and dental predeterminations and all that other stuff? When I go upstairs and clock out, yo, dental has the audacity to try and like talk to me and be like, yo, I tried to call you all day. First of all, I was never in my office today. I wasn't even putting the work that I'm being paid for. I never put that in my mind, because once they said my coworker was out, I knew I was going to be in booth the entire day. I knew I couldn't work on any of my stuff as all hell broke loose. So I don't have no time to work on my stuff. But yet I got dental calling me like, I haven't finished your last batch from like October. And it's because of all the shit that's been going down. And I explained that to them already. And I'm going through this whole situation. But yet they're talking about, yeah, I tried to call you all day to get this info. Like, bro, I literally went up and said, no, don't talk to me. I clocked out and I ran out. And then when I left, that's when I sent you the whole message of all the fires.
Ah, okay.
So that was Thursday. So that was the mess.
I laugh because I've been in every segment you just described.
IT was going through it today, man. When I tell you, yo, all the printers in the building was starting to act up the same situation. And they was trying to find out what the hell was going on. And literally, it was like, ours was the worst because they were fixing other people's and they was having other situations that was being fixed, but none of this shit was working for us.
I've been in that front booth when I dealt with the doctor's office. I hate medical systems with a passion because of all the legacy systems involved.
Yep, and old work and everything that they just don't want to change.
I hate medical IT. That's one thing I will not go back to.
Nope, I do not recommend it.
Oh, my poor co-host. He going through it, y'all.
Every week. I think this is just a segment for the people. They love to hear my woes. So, stepping away from that, let's go into our shout out section. So let me pull up the pod shout outs for people. Shout outs to my beloved girlfriend, the Captain Kenya. She out here. Black Ramen Podcast, always. Miss Yao, Sentai Fountain of Knowledge. Peter, respect. Jabba Tears Podcast, Wilkins, Janelle, and Mr. Black, and Dre from Your Sports Show, just in general, Mr. Big Baby out here, Saison Talk, with Janelle and Amanda, Cuzzo Marcus out here, True Heel Heat, 2.5 Bros, Lawrence, Rolando, Wilkins out here, Grace Space, Eli, It's Relational, Kimons, Keeping It 9,000. Happy belated to J Quell out here, big fancy out here. You got any shout outs on your end?
Of course, there's always some people here. We got Fat Man DKC out here, Darnell out here. What's
up, buddy? Darnell.
You already mentioned homie Law from 2.5 Bros.
Yep.
Appreciate him. Kareem, aka Jason.
Hey, Darulo. Omarion out here stepping.
Right? Oh man. And just everybody who tunes in. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Always a bless.
Especially those people who's ever listening in India, in Germany.
We are international. Yo, never forget that. Y'all, when we put up them side stories, y'all gonna find out who the true international is. Y'all gonna find out one day.
One day we'll discuss that.
Yep. All right. So we got that. So we're gonna dip into our second segment of Off the Cuff. I have something written down for Off the Cuff as a discussion, but what was interesting was the topic I did a post on, and we did talk about this. So I think we should bring that more up to the forefront about the idea of college being a scam or just education in general, on like the depression of coming out of college, maybe the idea of your degree not being good enough. Like at the certain age that you talked about to go into college and not being ready to really sit with the amount of things that is about to change on your life and pressures that will push past your time in college. Just the situations on that. You want to touch on the topic that I posted about?
Actually, yeah. Okay, so let's talk about this.
Yeah.
All right, so college. I've said this to many people, and I'll say it here. In regards to college, you get out of college what you put into college. And what I mean by that is you need to go into college with a plan. And I tell you this from experience, because when I started college, I just jumped in. And mind you, this is after taking a year off. After high school, I was not trying to do it. So I took a year off. Then I went in. And even then, at that point, I still didn't have a plan per se. So I was still trying to figure things out. I didn't really get my shit together until probably about sophomore year.
Yeah.
And that really goes back to that chance encounter I explained on the previous episode.
Yeah.
Where it was like, okay, so you telling me you
All
did
that
all
money.
this, you got all this debt, but you here trying to pay off said debt.
And you wasn't trying to be over there.
So then I was like, okay. So the way this works is I'm going to have to figure out how I can make this work for me, make sure I can keep these costs, aka these loans and those other stuff, in check, and afterwards set myself up to where I can get a decent enough position where I can start to pay down said debt.
Facts.
So in regards to just talking about that whole college thing, if you go in here thinking, oh, this degree is going to instantly make everything great, nah, that ain't it.
Nah, not at all.
Not at this point.
No, and the selling point of that, now taking me into consideration with my situation with college, I got an opportunity by stroke of luck. I don't know. I still to this day don't know if I put it in by accident or if it was my guidance counselor or somebody just briefly mentioning it. But I got in through college through the EOP system, as an educational opportunity, and
as did I.
Exactly. So we're EOP members out here. So I got test programmed through it right before I got out of high school. And I went there for a weekend to test out the college. Things were fun, that adventure, you know, a high schooler going into college, seeing what college life is and stuff like that. I got enticed with it, and I went through summer. Felt like a hazing process when it came to just being in the EOP. So many experiences. Some of the founding members of Savage Squad could tell you about going through that rigmarole of whatever the hell that was over that summer. But coming out of it, we learned so much. It was like it was a streamline. So we got some credits and everything going through, and we started out strong going into that college, and it kind of like tried to build up the importance of college and just, you know, gaining the knowledge and information all you got to do during your time in college. But I don't know, I still don't feel like I gained the gravity of the whole situation. Like everything was just kind of passing me by, and those 4 years just kept moving. Like I tried to do a lot to survive and try to figure my way around stuff. I stuck with the major that I ideally came into college for, in hopes of like finding a job in general. I had stuff that I was putting to a side and like majors and minors, but along the ways they never really stuck with me because I had to let them go to like make sure I got this main degree so I could go further with stuff and try to get paid like along the way. And still at the same time, while I'm in college, I'm having like a mental crisis and trying to figure out what the hell is this all for, or I'm still building up debt just a mile long and try to figure my way and try, just like you, try to figure out what's best fit for when I get out of here and try and get a whole bunch of situation. But it's like a whole bunch of opportunities, and still like time just started flying by, and I tried to grab at whatever I can to try to build whatever relations I can to try and get everything moving. And like just like the post I posted up, it's like there's that period after college that kind of hits on a level of depression that you're not realizing it's going to hit you. It's just being pulled out of that environment and that set of how you was, unless you keep going further from there. And if it just keeps going up, if you have like a streamline that feels like it's going down a period for a while before you have your like upturn into something towards your degree or something like that, or not being as happy as you were, it's definitely a major like pulling point of depression that you're trying to work out while you're trying to like handle all the outside stuff. Maybe you're starting loans, maybe you're starting to get those mails that says the bills is coming up. It's like it's a lot that's hitting you at the same time, and you're trying to maneuver it, and then you're trying to still figure out if this piece of paper was worth it all.
You know what's fun about graduating during the Great Recession.
Shit.
So yeah, I graduated in 2010, right into the bullshit.
They told us the same thing. They told us much ain't changed. So going, you being in starting is another level, but they told us the same thing. Like shit ain't done changed. Y'all gonna try, and if y'all got connections, maybe you lucky.
So I'm gonna drop some knowledge here. So here is how I would suggest anybody that's entering college prepare for college. First, take time to map out what do you want to do. Not just a guesstimate, just generally try to narrow down what you want to do.
Game plan that shit.
Like, so if that means taking off a little time before you go in, that's fine. You can have up to a year. I would say up to a year is fine between leaving high school and you going to college. That's fine. The next thing I would say is once you decide in the general area that's what you want to do, get an internship.
Yeah.
I cannot stress
can't stress
this
that either.
enough.
Talking from a person who tried and really did not get that opportunity. Well, man, just stress that. Make that as much as possible.
I need to stress this. This is important because you want the internship to line up as you're learning. So once you get out of school, you have actual practical experience in what you're trying to do.
That's that full experience, and people out here, like real people, love their free internship. So if you still in school and you try to pull up on that, they love that shit.
You make connections during the internship, and you also make connections in school. You
nothing more worse than you graduate and you trying to pick up on internship or stuff like that, because that's not going to be paid. And a lot of people don't like you when you graduate. Graduating is a shitty thing because once you graduate, you find out how much people don't love you as much as when you was just straight a student.
You get put into life with everybody else.
Yup.
And the reason I'm stressing the internship is because the bachelor's degree at this point is the new high school diploma. It's expected.
Yeah.
It's expected. So most jobs expect you to have that. So the way that you differentiate yourself is again with experience. And the way you can get that while you're in school and while I'm pushing this is to get an internship. And there are a couple of reasons for that. One, if you're getting that internship, you will know right away if you want to be in this field.
Facts.
So then the earlier you can get that experience, the earlier you can determine, hey, is this something I want to do as a path? And then if you don't, you can pivot.
Yeah. Pivot a lot quicker, I tell you
that will save you a lot of time, a lot of headache, and a lot of useless classes.
Facts.
And then like I said, you'll be better for it when you come out.
Yeah. And these internships can go hand in hand. You start using the experience quicker while you're in class and you're learning all these techniques and stuff like that. So it feels fresh in your mind. And likewise, you could take your experiences in the internship and take it during class, that you can have discussions and be more detailed about it so you can find out specific knowledge that you need to know.
Yeah, work your way up to them paid internships too.
Yes.
Free is great for experience, but you want to work your way up to them paid
you always want to get the money. If the money is there, then come grab it. But if it's not there, you can get experience while you're just still in school and you're probably doing other jobs and other stuff and you're making money some other how. I mean, it's the best situation.
And I will also say this, depending on what you want to do, the college route may not be for you.
There we go.
And the reason I'm saying that is if you want to be a mechanic and you want to work with your hands, the college route may not be for you. A trade school will be a better road. If you're trying to be a plumber, an electrician, or something like that, a trade school is for you. If that is your passion and if that is what you want to do, what I'm trying to say is don't go to college just because. That goes back to what I was talking about having a plan. If you know you want to go this route and college does not match up with that route, if you want to go to college, start small, start with a 2-year. Get your associates, get you your trade work together. If you want to go back,
you got time, probably more money and energy, and you don't got the loans tying you down at that point. So if you want to do whatever you want to do, you can handle it a lot better at that point.
At that point, your trade will give you the income. So if you do want to proceed and go forward, you have stable income coming in to do that.
And you got life experience. A lot of people coming out of high school, going into college, don't necessarily have life experience to know how to maneuver out of certain situations that they learned when they're very young. So it's like, I mean, you going in there with a different life.
Yeah, there's no reason to box yourself in that young. So take a step back. And like I said, after high school, I was burnt out of school.
Yeah.
So I took a step back.
There you go. I respect that. I wish things didn't streamline me so well into that. Like, there's some things that I definitely feel like shifted. Like, I feel like I should have taken more advantage of. Like, definitely, I'm going to push the study abroad thing for you to just don't live into your bubble. Try and see if during your time, even if it's going to put, like, work with whoever you can to see if you can, like, fix the money situation or something like that. But, like, a semester abroad really will, like, heighten your surroundings or just fix up any kind of situation, because you just want that travel experience and just see how other life lives. It just, maybe you might want to shift there, maybe you want to make big drastic decisions about what you want to do for life for a while. Maybe you want to see how other side lives and stuff like that, just for a little bit. Trust me, it's a game changer. It'll open eyes. Even in an interview process, you can speak into your own experiences.
Going abroad is great. If that's an option for you, I would always say
Mm-hmm.
take it. But just remember, it's okay to pause and take a step back. If things are getting overwhelmed, if you got your grants, you don't want to waste your grants, you don't want to waste your Pell, you don't want to waste your TAP.
Exactly.
Stop. Take a semester. Figure out what you want to do. Figure out how you can maneuver this college thing. Because it goes back to what I was saying. You're only going to get out of it what you put into it. And you got to be smart about what you put into it. Because you don't want to waste your college money on a whole bunch of useless courses. Like, you don't want to have a whole bunch of electives that don't transfer anywhere.
Yeah.
And then if you decide to switch majors, you gotta retake all the other courses because none of these courses are equivalent credit.
Fucking mess.
Y'all don't want to deal with that.
Nah, that's
not fun. It's not fun, y'all.
No, it ain't. But I'll put a pin in this discussion. We're dropping gems on them, but this has been like one of the most informative OTC conversations we have. This is educational for all out there.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So
yeah. All right. So moving into our small subsection discussions. All right, so Reboot news. Now, this is going to be on the anime information and stuff. So this week, we got a lot of information on live action stuff. So I'm going to start off with first the smaller information. We got Yu Yu Hakusho live action coming on Netflix in December 2023 it was announced. So I mean, we're officially like 2 years away from that. So I mean, as time goes on, we'll see how far that's gone and the look. I mean, they've dropped hints on how the cast might look and stuff like that, but I don't know if it's like legit in the workshops with that. So with that, I'm just gonna say it's gonna be, I mean, we're gonna have to see the cast like something else that I'm about to discuss. So with that, do you have any comments on the Yu Yu Hakusho live action?
Why?
Well, save that energy because we're going into next is the other piece of Reboot news that I have written down, the One Piece live action news. And this week we got a look at the cast. And you sent me the video on them being all excited. And I'm just, this whole time I've been holding gravity to the various announcement. It's hard. I'm going to be honest. When it comes to live action, it's always best to do the realistic looking stuff. And One Piece is very hard to do. It's up there with Power Shonen and everything all together. Even the likes of Luffy stretching and everything. It's like, it's so fucking hard to do. So the cast is, some is on the upside, some is on the downside. I don't know. How do you feel about this?
My eyebrows raised on it. Like you said, because of Luffy and what he does, that's going to be hard to do. It's probably going to be CGI. It's probably not going to look good. In terms of them in the getup, I don't know, man.
I'll see them in the fit. Some people is looking all kinds of way, looking like, I don't know, Sanji, looking, the guy who looked like Eminem, looking like Sanji. I don't know. The guy for Luffy, the homie got the energy like you showed me. He got energy, but I don't know. I'm just gonna have to see people in fits. Oda's behind it, and Oda's been working with it. But I mean, he wouldn't. I never like to go against the greatness of Oda because Oda knows. Oda out here in these streets, right? Oda great. Oda wanted to go.
Listen,
but at the same time, when you give your hand off to the studio and you're working on something, and you don't like, you say that you looking at something and you look real good at it, and you like, let me just get this paper. I don't know, dog. Netflix is big for the West. Maybe he trying something for the West. One Piece came on Netflix and they gave us 100 and something episodes and never updated. So how the fuck am I supposed to trust One Piece and Netflix?
Listen, Oda is like, come on and sing along while I get this money.
Facts. Oh my God. Oda's like, yo, if this is just gonna give me money so I can continue with the manga, that's fine. Just take the IP. He's like, y'all don't even really like it that much in the West anyway, so like, just just take some Netflix stuff. How far is this even supposed to go?
Listen, he like, y'all gonna have to take this L so I can get these funds.
I know Oda in his mind said it can't be as bad as Dragon Ball. It can't be as bad as Avatar. It can't be bad as Last Airbender. No, it can't be. Can't be. Can't be Death Note. No.
He's like, He's like, I'm getting kind of old. This economy looking kind of stable. So listen, y'all just gotta take this L, but I get this bread.
I don't know, man. That's just gonna be a continued watch over time. We'll circle around back to this one because Cowboy Bebop is right on the cusp. We're gonna be tackling that eventually.
Hey, there, listen. By the time 2050 get here, One Piece will still be going. Y'all don't completely forgot about this live action movie, and I'd have got my bread. So y'all gonna be alright.
Well, if we excommunicate the other two live actions I talked about from the history of Vicinity, because I'm talking out of Earth 2. So I mean, if we excommunicate that, I guess we'll just send that over to Earth 2 as well. So yeah, that's it for my end of Reboot news. You got anything that's passed along you with Reboot news?
No, I have nothing for Reboot news this week.
Okay, so shifting off of that, we're gonna go into some stock news, and the only piece of stock news I have is the only thing that concerned me from like after we finished the podcast and the email hit my account, and the moment it did, I started shifting shit off of Coinbase for sure. But Shiba has finally hit Coinbase, and now it's the number one shit that was starting to shift. Like I remember when Shiba first like started on any kind of crypto, any kind of market or alternative coin or whatever, like it was the bare minimum of a penny. It was like the subdivision of a penny. So if you bought like any worths of it, it was gonna blow the fuck up once it starts like hitting up numbers, because this is the second coming of Dogecoin just in general. So it's like once that finally come on Coinbase, I started shifting. I was like, the shit I put into this, I was gonna start shifting straight up to. I just wanted some Shiba on my portfolio. So like we was talking about last week, as long as the must don't funk, then we'll see how this work out, because I put some money to that side and it ain't looking too bad on some Shiba, but let's see from there.
Interesting. I noticed my Bitcoin is up. Dogecoin is looking kind of decent. So not too bad.
Yeah, we'll definitely continue seeing on that.
Not too bad at all. Things are looking good. My stocks are looking decent. Everything's up.
Hey, that's what's up. Hey, we got I had a long discussion with somebody, and man, just with the situation that just keeps on happening around in life, and you trying to make as much stream of income you can. I mean, the stocks things is never instant, but it's one of those things where it's like it's a hopeful thing where you just like you put money to the side to hope something comes all together, and you're trying to fix up and secure that back for your future for sure.
Yeah, man, gotta diversify.
Yeah, you gotta diversify and look fancy out here. Yep. So shifting into, it's time for the main event out here. So, for those that don't know, this is actually our 44th review recording. Now, we've been doing this for a year plus, but we finally decided to put this out live. So, this is officially our episode 4, but ironically, really, it's our episode 44th review. And this is our irony special because this main event segment, this third segment, Comfy Couch, this week is a show retrospective of episode 1 of the OG and the reboot of the show, The 4400. So this episode is full of Ford. Episode 4, episode 44, The 4400, we all out here. So we are doing that, and we getting into the history notes. So my co-host is more familiar with this show in general, but do you want me to read off the history notes that I have, and you try to confirm for me anything if I'm stirring any different kind of way around this?
Yep, go ahead. I'll chime in afterwards.
Okay, so all these histories that I'm about to break down is both back-to-back information. So one section I'm going to say is about original and then reboot after. So each note I'm going to be on original, reboot, just coming straight down. For the original of the 4400, it was running for 4 seasons, 44 episodes, ironically, from July 2004 to September 2007. And then in the reboot, it started in October of 2021, currently ongoing. For the original, it's under it was under the banner of the USA Network. And with the reboot, this is under the CW Network. The original, it being a science fiction drama show, while the reboot is really under science fiction drama and mystery. The original inspired hot shows today like Manifest. Everybody knows that from Netflix, and it's getting a new movie adaptation to finish off ironically, like you was telling me with the 4400, how you said it ended off on kind of a cliffhanger. I guess the same in trend comes with Manifest because it's getting a movie to finish itself up as well. So I don't know. The reboot is the reboot off of, the inspirational show. The original is streaming on Netflix if you want to watch that there. This new reboot is streamed from the CW app. The original's premise idea of 4,400 people being kind of, in a sense, raptured kind of in a way, since one day and snatched up only to be returned years later into the future like nothing's ever happened, but something changed about them. While the premise of the reboot is kind of the same as the others, only seems to be 4,400 minority, only to be returned now during race riot situations. So that's my fast facts and history news on the 4,400, the original and reboot.
All right, I'm going to fill in some info here. All right, we're going to start with the OG.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like you said, as you said, it ran from 2004 to 2007.
Mm-hmm.
The show was first offered to Fox, but Fox only wanted a miniseries.
Why does that remind me of when we reviewed The Gifted?
Yeah, it's kind of the same scenario. I don't know what Fox's deal is with that, but they said no, and they took the show to USA Network, and USA was completely on board.
It was like, give me that money. I like this.
They went so far as the premiere episode was actually 2 hours.
Shit.
As you said, the show went 4 seasons, and the show was canceled due to a combination of reasons, as per the co-creator, Scott Peters.
Was it really that it ran for 4 seasons and it was 44 episodes?
That I have to double check because I'm
like, how would it seems too perfect for it to be 44 episodes and then somehow leave off on a cliffhanger. That sounds like it's supposed to finish at 44.
It actually is 44.
See, I don't understand that. How does it leave on a? That sounds so weird. How would it be 44 and it did not finish right? That sounds like an adamant like, all right, it's 4,400. We have 44 episodes.
That is super ironic. So the first season was 5 and the other 3 were 13.
See what I mean? Oh, see, that makes in my head, because I didn't check all of that shit out. I thought everybody did 11.
No, they're all 13. I had to double check too.
That is so fucking weird. This show was meant to complete, but they fucked up. I don't know who decided to write something further, but they fucked up. It was supposed to end. It's right there. 44 episodes. Come on, guys. Come on.
And yeah, the episode 44, that was the cliffhanger. So
that makes no sense. That was on purpose. That show was always supposed to end that way. It was supposed to end cliffhanger and piss y'all off. I swear.
Nah, man, we were supposed to get. We was right at the top of where it was about to go down.
Nah, them niggas read it exactly that way. They said, nah, we gonna fuck these niggas up. It's 44 episodes. We ending it off that cliffhanger, so they will never know. They will never know. They just have to have the imagination.
And going for that, it got canceled because of a combination of reasons. It was one, as they hit the end of season 4, going towards season 5, we had the Writers Guild of America strike.
Yeah, so that had to take out a bunch of shows.
They had budget issues, and I guess the USA didn't like the numbers for the previous season.
Well, there you go.
So you get a perfect storm of all of that, and yeah, it got canceled.
Get the axe. I hear that.
And of course, like you said, it got left on a big cliffhanger, which, oh man. No, I blame USA and them damn writers strike. Y'all cheat us over.
Yeah. They honestly did. All right.
Okay, last note is just the OD. For me, this was my first intro to Mahershala Ali, a.k.a. our new Blade.
A.k.a. New Blade. New Blade. I'm just going to keep going. New Blade. Respect.
Yeah, so this was the first time I saw him.
Yeah, and it definitely looks like that. When we step into this episode, man, them early days or something.
Listen, man, I think he was the only black man in this show.
Well, we're going to talk about that. About that very much. You want to step into the OG now?
I'm going to give you a little tips on the new one.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, the new one started, like you said, it started on the 25th of October of this year.
Yep.
And it's ongoing. I don't like the premise of this title, where 4,400 marginalized people vanished without a trace over the last century. And they made a sudden return. So the time gap has changed between the original. The original was from 1946 onwards, so about 60 years. So now we have read a whole century.
Yeah.
But this whole marginalized people thing, I got me raising the eyebrow, CW. Why?
Oh, that's...
Why?
We'll discuss on that.
All right, so we're going to head into the first episode of the OG.
First episode of the OG, the pilot.
Which is, yes,
part
apropos.
All right. So my co-host knows this very well, so he's gonna take us on the journey, and I'm gonna get my notes in. So let's go.
Okay, so the episode starts. We get the show name Behind the Globe. Nothing crazy.
Start on Earth, title of the show, boom.
Yep, so we hear a saxophone playing in the background, and we get our first intro into Maya. She's with her parents. It's raining outside. They're in the car, and her dad basically says, "Hey, if this rain don't stop, we're gonna either have to cancel our picnic or we're gonna have to have it in the car." Now Maya is telling her dad that she wants to go out and play, and so she's pressing the issue, buttering her parents up. Her parents were like, "Okay, we'll let you go out for a little bit."
Yeah.
So Maya gets out the car, and we see her going through this little forest picking flowers.
Now, when we see her going through the forest of picking flowers, that's when her nameplate starts to come up with the information in the time period. So this is March 3rd, 1946. We're in Cali, and it shows that while she's doing all that, she's the first one being snatched up by that beam of light.
Yeah, so we find out her name, the date of her disappearance, and where she's from. So yeah, she's picking flowers, still in a little forest area. There, we get this white light, and we hear this sound. We can see the light in Maya's eyes. She drops the flowers. They fall to the floor, and the next thing we know, Maya is gone.
Yep, they gone.
And then we still hear the sax playing somewhere in the background. The next person we get our intro to is Richard Tyler.
Yep, which that's played by Mahershala Ali, aka New Blade.
Yes. So Richard is getting his ass kicked at the moment.
Yeah, we're in an army base in South Korea in 1951.
Yeah, so at this point, it's a group of white guys that's kicking his ass. We get the capture for him. It's May 11th, 1954, and we're in South Korea. Now, one of the guys that's kicking it behind is telling him that we treated you as an equal, but that wasn't good enough for you. You had to cross the line. We don't know at this point what he meant, but the guy throws something down to him. And so Richard goes to pick it up, and what we see is him making out with a white lady.
So, big racist overtones going down, talking about black men smooching on a white woman. These white guys is big mad.
And the next thing you know, we get the white light, we get the weird sound, and Richard is out of here.
Snatched up. Neck.
So next we get our intro to my least favorite character, Orson Bailey.
I could sense it when I was watching the episode. I could sense it.
So he's leaving work to go pick up his wife and go to dinner. He's telling his coworker, or he's planning to take his wife, and his coworker says that's expensive. And what Orson says is that Elizabeth has been with him for 35 years, and she deserves a nice meal. So we get the caption for him as well.
Yeah, he goes to his car, and it's June 1979 in Tacoma.
And so he's checking his briefcase on top of his car, and here come our friend the white light. Eerie sound, and boom, homie is gone.
Snatched up.
Don't bring him back. Same. Anyways, up next, we get our intros to Kyle and Sean, their cousins.
Yeah, we see you guys out there stargazing and drinking.
Right there on the beach, they're drinking. From what we can tell by their brief conversation, Sean supposedly seems to be the black sheep of the family.
Yeah.
So we get a caption for both of them. It's April 22nd in 2001, and they're in Highland Beach, Washington. So first, this time we get the eerie sound, and then here comes the white light. Kyle screams, and he drops to the floor. And then Sean is gone.
Snatched up.
So next we are in present day.
We shift off to that. So after that situation, we shift off straight into present day.
So present day being 2004. And we see Kyle in the hospital. And we get our first intro to Thomas Baldwin. So on the news in Kyle's room, on the TV, they're talking about a comet and how close the comet is about to pass Earth.
Interesting.
So Thomas talking to Kyle, and from what we can tell, Kyle's in a coma.
He's been in a coma ever since that situation, apparently.
And then so next we get our intro to Linda. So these are Kyle's parents.
It's estranged.
You can definitely tell by the way Linda rolled up in here and said, "Hey, your mail is still coming."
Tension.
That they're separated. They're not together.
No.
And Tom said, "All right, listen, I called the post office." And then he tells Linda, like, I ain't seen you around the last couple of days. And Linda's like, she can't make it every day. Not anymore. Not after 3 years.
3 years. Your picnic been in a coma. I mean, that's hard. That's hard times.
And then here comes Tom being a dick saying, "So what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to give up on him?"
Like, who's paying these medical bills, my nigga? Like, what you talking about? I gotta go to work.
Linda's like, I gotta go. And Tom chases after her. She tells Tom it's not a competition on who can stay with him the longest. She's like, "I love him, but I can't live here like you do."
Facts. And then Tom was hiring investigations to find out where Sean went in the midst of all this. And it's like, yo, Tom, you're a big mess right now.
Yeah, Tom is just like uber obsessed. I get it, but then Tom,
yo, come on, man.
Well, I guess Tom is holding on, and we'll get into that, some kind of false hope on finding some answers, but we'll get into that a little later. And Linda's just over Tom shit
pretty much
at this point. And Linda says Tom looks tired and he should go get some rest.
Yep.
So the next scene, we get intro to Danny and Nikki. And Danny and Nikki making out.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy over here. Nikki says that they're supposed to be watching the comet. Like Danny's like, yeah, the comet.
Yeah. He was like, huh?
Yeah. So Nikki looks up and she asks Danny, is the comet supposed to be that bright? And that comet is kind of bright for something that's supposed to be that far away.
Everybody looking up at that comet area and shit looking bright as hell now.
Yep. So the next thing is we get our intro to Diana scoring. And she's on her treadmill working out and she gets a phone call. She answers the phone. The guy on the phone tells her to get down here now.
Yep.
So we get a caption saying, hey, we're at the Seattle branch of the Department of Homeland Security.
Homeland Security dealing with this shit. They taking a large interest in the sky because that comet look like it's coming.
It's a lot of commotion going on in Homeland right now.
Yep.
And so she gets down the corridor and we hear the same voice that was on the phone. He says, all right, listen up, everyone. We're at DEFCON 1. And he started giving out envelopes, talking about these envelopes are from HomeSec, Homeland Security. So he's basically like, our first priority, he's giving them orders saying, basically, listen, we got to secure the airport. We got to ground all the planes. We got to round up all the diplomats and elected officials. We got to get them to all these bunkers that specify in these envelopes.
Protect.
So Diana, she's like, yo, can somebody bring me up to speed? And someone tells Diana that, listen, the comet is no longer flying by Earth. It's coming straight for us.
Yep.
And someone on comms basically said, yo, the comet just changed course and accelerated.
Shit.
And Diana's like, comets don't change course.
Yeah. Just go call people because it's about to go down.
So at this point, we finally get our intro to Dennis Rodden, the voice of the person that's been giving out all these orders. So he tells Diana this one has, and Diana comes back and says, then it's not a comet. So Rodden asks one of the people on his staff, like, how much time do we have before it impacts? And Simon says 28 minutes.
Damn.
As he says that, someone gives Rylan a phone. So he answers the phone, goes understood, and he lets everybody know that China just launched missiles at it.
Yeah,
and
China
to get ready.
China strikes first and fast at that. So
and he said to get ready because we're next. So
only to find out that China got no effect on that shit though.
Listen, they sent missiles, we sent missiles. We hear Diana say that our missiles are in the air. England, France, and Russia have sent theirs as well.
God damn.
So nobody's playing around with this comet.
No, not if it's coming in like 30 minutes.
So we get information saying the first set of missiles will intercept with the comet in 15 seconds. So there's a countdown. The countdown going down for 15. We see the explosion and no effect. Shit.
That shit coming in fast and fearful with nothing stopping that motherfucker. Everybody fearful and calling their loved ones.
You hear the news. So Rylan asks Diana, how hard will it hit? And Diana says something that big, moving that fast. You don't want to know.
Oof.
So the next scene is, we see the comet heading towards Earth. And we see a quick glimpse of Danny and Nikki. Nikki saying that she's scared. She goes to find her parents. We got various people at Homeland calling their family. We got Diana calling her mom. We got Rylan calling people. We got Tom on the phone with his sister, who is Danny's mother. So that's Danny's nephew. And she's asking Tom, is there anywhere we can go? If there anything we do, he's like, nah. He's like, just hold on to Danny and pray.
Moving that fast, it's like, y'all could go in the bunkers all you want, but that shit, ain't no bunker left with the planet gone.
He was like, just hold Danny close and pray. So back at Homeland, we get a report that the British missiles have hit, and it ain't do nothing to this comet.
Shit.
So Diana is telling Riley that she has the comet on radar, and the comet is slowing down.
Like what? Now it's decelerating at a quick race now.
So she's like, it's going subsonic. She's like, this comet is leveling off like and continuing to lose speed. Yeah, as if it's landing. And then someone says like a plane, and then someone else says no, more like the mothership.
Oh fuck.
So Rylan asks, where is it? Give me some coordinates. Where's it going? So Diana gives him the coordinates based on what she sees, and it turns out to be Mount Rainier. So Rylan is like, that's our backyard.
Mm-hmm.
So the next scene, we see everybody and their mother is at Mount Rainier. The government, the cops, the reporters, everybody and their mom is out here.
Yeah, once they found out, they like, yo, let me pull up. Shit, if it ain't gonna go kaboom no more, let me show up. What's the hell about to happen?
So we hear the eerie sound, and then we see something coming from the clouds. It's a ball of white light.
Mm-hmm.
So now this ball of light is just gracefully moving across the water. Then it just stops. Now, the way they've been building up to this has been great.
Yeah.
Because you really don't know at this point what is going on.
Yeah, no, the anticipation is really holding.
So the reporters at this point are reporting that the object is 200 feet in diameter. We see Tom, of course, he's still in the hospital with Kyle. He sees news on the TV. Danny and his mom are listening to the news too. So at this point, the ball begins to change, and it looks like it imploded on itself.
Yep, it imploded with a shine and a flash of light, and it's just shining all over.
Everyone at this point is confused.
Yep.
But then a blast of light comes out, and it knocks everyone back.
Yep.
Most of the front people got knocked down.
Yeah.
Cameraman got knocked down. The reporters and everybody else don't know what to make of it. At this point, we see some smoke and fog.
Yep.
And then we begin to see people coming from the fog.
A large set of people.
And everybody and the reporters are like, oh shit, what the hell is going on here? So we start seeing people trickling out, but then the fog starts to dissipate, and we see it's a lot more people here than we thought.
Yep. Shit tons. Even the news report was like thousands of people have appeared.
So the reporters and everyone else at this point, they're stunned. So on the news, we see the cameraman showing all of the people. Mm-hmm. We did see Sean, Maya, Richard, and Orson. So everybody that got abducted earlier.
Sound like the smoke for this old man true.
And then so while they're watching, both Tom and his sister saw Sean on TV. So then back at Homeland, we see Rylan asking for some docs related to all these people that just popped out of nowhere.
Yep.
And then here comes Tom. Tom tells Rylan, I want back in.
Of course he want back in. He saw one of the pieces of the puzzle he's been looking for pretty much.
Now, Rylan is like, he tells him, he's like, I got 4,400 people that came out of a ball of light and just landed in my lap. Mm-hmm. Some have been gone for 60 years. None of them have any memory of what happened to them. And you want me to drop everything because you want back in.
Yeah, what you mean put me back in the game, coach? What the fuck you talking about, brother? You been benched all season. Never been played. What you mean you want it?
Tom is like, he can help. Rylan's like, I needed your help before.
Where you was at? Exactly. Where was you at all of the season? What you mean?
So we definitely see at this point, Rylan and Tom has history because Rylan is going in. He basically says, when Homeland Security asks who I wanted to bring over from their agency, a.k.a. the FBI, he's like, your name was at the top of the list. And what did I get from you? And here comes Tom.
Bullshit. Basura.
Tom was like, 5 months. Rylan was like, and then a definite leave of absence. He's like, you made a fool out of both of us.
Boo-boo the fool, nigga.
And then Tom was like, I need to find the truth about what happened to my son. And then Rodney is like, and you still do. That's the reason why you want back in. Because your nephew is one of the returnees.
Yeah, situations smell like poo-poo.
I guess Linda's not the only one that's tied to Tom right now.
Shit, everybody tied to Tom. Everybody hates Tom.
So Tom is pleading his case to Rylan. Next, we see Diana taking some notes on something she's looking at on the monitor. Rylan walks up to her and calls her and introduces her to Tom and tells her that her and Tom will be partners.
Team up, niggas.
Tom looks at Diana and he's like, oh, you're ex-CDC. And Diana comes back and she's like, yeah, I heard about you too. Yo.
Tom disgraced.
She looked at Rylan and she said, you got to be kidding me, right?
That ass.
And Rylan is like, is there a problem?
Yes.
And she goes in, and she goes in. She's like, listen, he went MIA before. What's to say he won't go MIA again?
Damn, y'all trying to hook me onto a failing job. I see how y'all feel about me now.
And then Tom says, me. And then she looks at him, and she looks at Rylan. She completely ignores him, and she looks directly at Rylan. And she's like, is this the part where you're going to give me the be a good soldier speech? And Rylan says, no, this is the part where I'm going to give you the speech that you're my best field scientist and he's my best investigator, and together you're going to make a good team.
He like, make it work, please. I ain't got no other options.
And Diana's like, well, this should be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And here comes Tom. Nice to meet you too. Diana's like, Diana gives me life because she is not with none of this shit.
This nigga, what he got was Dirty Diana. Oh.
Diana was not, she's like, listen, it's
She
bullshit.
Wasn't fucking with you. Oh.
Yeah, like, it's like, you got one time. You got one time and I'm getting rid of you.
Mm-hmm.
So then at this point, we see the returnees and they're being questioned. And we see Diana and Tom reviewing the footage of their questioning. Diana mentions that for all these people, no time has passed. And so Tom asks her what she think happened. Diana's like, listen, I don't really know, but the way this thing went down, I ain't ruling nothing out.
Nope.
So then they view Maya's video.
Mm-hmm.
And they basically determined that Maya was the first one to get snatched up. And looks like Diana's taking a little liking to her because she calls her a tough kid.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, it's a kid from so long ago. The kid's this age, and you never know what situation. But the kid is handling this interview process pretty well for somebody that snatched up and just landed in a whole different time period.
Yep, and then here comes Tom. Tom talking about there's one returnee in particular he wants to interview.
She said, "Oh yeah, there's one in particular. I was told about that. Get the fuck out of my face."
Yeah, Diana's like, yeah, she heard returnee 2,177. She gives her a distance and he's all yours. Diana's like, get out of my face.
That ass. Get that bullshit away from me.
Next thing we see is Orson watching the news, and there are two opposing views of one, should we let the people out, and one saying, nah, we should keep them in because we don't know what's going on with them.
Yep.
And then here comes Maya, and she's the one that's saying to keep us in here. That lady don't like us very much. And then here comes Orson. The feeling's mutual.
Bitch.
Fuck you, Orson. Fuck you. All right, so next we see Sean and Richard. Mm-hmm. And Richard, he's just in amazement that the Secretary of State is colored.
Yeah.
So Sean says, you mean black? And he's like, I'll take your word for it. And Richard is just still in awe because he's like the National Security Advisor too.
Yeah. Who black? Where black? Why black?
Yeah, this is 04, so he's referring to Colin Powell and Condoleezza Rice.
Mm-hmm.
So Richard's just like, man, the world sure has changed since 51.
Damn, Skippy.
It ain't changed that much, Richard. It ain't changed that much, man.
Well, keep that energy coming up.
So Sean is basically pacing back and forth, and Richard tells him to relax. You're not going to get out here any quicker by wearing a groove in the floor. So Sean was like talking back, he's going back and forth with him. He's like, are you some kind of jailhouse philosopher? And like Richard is like, nah, I'm a barracks philosopher. I was a combat pilot in Korea. And so Sean sees his tattoo, and he points to this tattoo, and he asks him, who's Lily? And so Richard tenses up a little bit and just says, that's a girl he used to know. At this point, Sean gets called into one of the interview rooms.
Yep, they go talk to Tom. So
Sean, he sees Tom, and he's happy to see him. He asks Tom what's going on, and Tom is like, he'll let him know once he knows.
Mm-hmm.
They have a moment like, yo, I can't believe it's you. Sean's like, I can't believe, how do you think I feel?
Yeah.
Right? And so then here comes Tom. He asks Sean if he remembers anything about what happened that night.
Mm-hmm.
And Sean says, I don't remember nothing. He's like, 1 minute I'm sitting on the beach with Kyle, and next is 3 years later, and I'm standing next to some mountain with a couple of thousand strangers standing next to me. He's like, people are saying that we were abducted by aliens.
Shit.
So Sean starts asking about his mom and his brother, and Tom says, they're all good. He then asks Tom about Kyle. He's like, does Kyle know anything? What's going on with Kyle? And then Tom gets real quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And so Sean is like, what's going on? He's asking Kyle okay. And then Tom tells Sean that Kyle is in a coma, and he's been in a coma since
he got
abducted.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sean is trying to figure out, like, what are you talking about? Sean says he was fine the last time he saw him.
Yeah, Tom being the passive aggressive in this situation really marked up the whole scene on Sean, because then he starts to get Sean hella upset in the way that he feels like he's being accused for some situation there.
Yeah, because at this point, Sean is trying to tell him that, we were having a couple of beers, and we were good, and then pick up Tom talking about, don't lie to me.
Tom instigates shit, and it's really annoying me too.
I've been waiting 3 years to hear the truth from you. Don't lie to me.
Listen, emotional bitch, get out of my face.
And Sean telling Tom, I just told you the truth. But then the light bulb goes off for Sean, and Sean is pissed.
As he should be.
Yep. He tells Tom, is that what you've been thinking this whole time? That I gave Kyle something that messed him up and I just took off? He was like, screw you, Uncle Tommy.
Yeah.
I agree. Screw you, Uncle Tommy.
Screw you, Tommy.
And Sean flips the chair and leaves the interview room.
Facts.
So we didn't see Richard. again.
Mm-hmm.
And a lady walks up to him, and Richard is immediately taken aback.
Yep.
They look at each other, and the lady is like, "Do I look that bad?" And Richard's like, "Nah, not at all. You just remind me of someone." She asks Richard how long he's been gone. He says since 51. And the lady says it couldn't have been me because I've only been gone since 93. He introduces himself, and she introduces herself, and he tells her name is Lily. Richard is all shocked all over again.
He said, "Hmm?"
He's like, "Who? Huh? What?" So Richard tells her that his friend was named Lily too, Lily Bonham. And then now Lily's taking it back because he says that's my grandmother's name.
Oof.
So Richard is starting to freak out a bit at this point. He's like, "What the hell's going on here?"
Yeah.
He goes and tells Lily, he's like, "Lily Bonham from St. Louis." And Lily is like, "You my grandmother?" Richard asks if she's still alive. And Lily tells him she died before she was born.
Shit.
And Richard just sitting down. He's like,
Processing this shit.
Lily's dead, and I'm sitting here with her granddaughter. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any goddamn sense at all.
I mean, you got to feel for Richard at this point.
Yeah, Richard is going through it.
He's getting his ass kicked the last time he remembered just for this situation, so.
Yep, he thinks like, damn. And so Lily goes on and talks about how she wants to see her husband and her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
She gives a little bit about history of her family. Her daughter's only 6 months old when she was taken.
Mm-hmm.
And see, it was going good, but now we got to go back to bitch ass old horse. So he's there at one of the booths, and he's saying something to somebody. He's like, "You can't keep us held like this." And here comes Maya again. She gives him a tissue.
Yeah, she said, "You're going to need this."
Yep, and then she walks off, and then we start seeing blood jump on the tissue. We realize it's from Orson's nose.
Yep.
So he looks back at Maya, and Maya's just there.
Hi.
Being creepy.
Yeah, that's one thing about this damn child. Oh, boy. I don't know if this child has played other horror roles throughout her childhood life, but goddamn, this child is creepy.
Yeah, she is favorite. They cast it right, because she is.
What the fuck?
Like, she's not scary. She's just...
No, she's creepy. She's perfect to be that before the demon shows up.
Goosebumps.
Oh, she would have been great in Goosebumps if she wasn't already. I don't know.
So the next scene we see is Diana saying, "We're letting them go? It's only been 6 weeks.
We can't hold them down. It's goddamn, son. We running out of facilities and shit."
Ryland was like, "The court said otherwise. The ALCU filed a lawsuit on behalf of the families, and we don't have a legal right to hold them."
Yeah. This is what happens when it becomes public and niggas want to see their peoples.
Yep, so Ryland is like, anyone who wants to stay can stay. Any citizen will get whatever help we can provide them, vouchers,
rent
stabilization, and all that good stuff. So they get on their feet. Diana is like, "Yo, these people need to be isolated." Tom is like, they're not a virus. They're human beings, Diana.
Ooh, boy, does that sound interesting coming from a time in the future to hear. Like, they're people. They're not a virus. Ooh, look at
yeah, I know what you mean.
Oh boy,
for current times, it's like, you know what?
Yeah, I know somebody in Homeland looking at that in the future, like, God damn.
And so then we see all the people leaving. And as I'm watching this, I realized they gave, in this first episode, they gave the reboot a perfect setup. And I didn't realize it until I rewatched the episode.
Keep that thought in mind when we do the retrospective. So I want to hear that.
Yeah. So, omitting what I'm going to mention later, Ryland says that the returnees will check in once a week. And any issues the returnees have will be handled by this office, basically Seattle branch. And he says they will continue their investigation. Hey, so we got all this good stuff going on.
Yep.
At this point, I will mention that, because I don't want to give too much away from we do our perspective, but at this point, the people are leaving. So there are 79 people plus 135 who decide to stay in quarantine for the time being. So there are about 250 people that are staying in this Seattle, Washington area. Yeah. And these are the people that Ryland's group is directly responsible for. Yeah. So that we went down from 4,400 to these 250, because everybody else that left and went all over the country and wherever they was from. So there we see they all leaving. We see Richard and Lily. They chatting it up, talking about how Yeah, we got to start over. We ain't got no ID. We ain't got nothing out. Which, like, technically, I'm supposed to be 82 years old.
Shit.
So it's wild. So now we got everybody just trying to reconnect.
Yeah, readjust back to their lives.
To their lives. Yo, this had to be some rough shit. Imagine being pulled away and then trying to reconnect.
Especially depending on what time period you're from, to come back and just try to realign with everything and just try to adapt with whatever you was like 10 years passed and there's a huge shift. You don't even start on people who's been away for like 50 years, can't even see color change.
Think about this. This was the Thanos snap before the MCU brought out the Thanos snap.
Yeah, but 5 years was a blip. Some of these niggas been gone for like 20, 30, 40.
So
50.
you just compound it out, man. Like, where are my money? Where my interest go? Is my 401k still around?
Where my family? How everybody looking? Like, what the hell? I'm still the same. Talk about being in the same place. Like, you know how everybody talks about growth, and if you go back to the same people, the same places, and you see the same old people, man, imagine you don't even get that opportunity to grow and everything changed around you. Like, goddamn.
Yeah, imagine everybody you grew up with is old and you looking like you 25. Yo, how that work?
All your friends is dead.
So that is just a lot to just think about processing all of that.
All I'm thinking about is if you're old and you pull up trying to make new friends, you look like Steve Buscemi and hello, fellow kids. Well, how do you do? What goes on in the new life?
So at this point, we see all the returnees starting to reunite with their families. We see Sean meets up with his brother and his mother. We see people meeting up. We see Lily looking for her husband. Yep. And so far, her husband ain't nowhere to be found.
That nigga looking like he got snatched up too. Like, where he go? Where he go, bro?
Wow, but you know, a lot of happenings going on here. A lot of people reconnecting. Mm-hmm. And Lily's like, yo, husband ain't here. So, of course, you know what Lily's going to do.
She's like, I know that nigga seen the news. What's good?
Lily done rolled up to the house. She knocked on the door. A girl opens the door, and it's her daughter.
With her friend.
Yeah. And now, to rephrase this, remember, when she got snatched up, her daughter was only 6 months. Mm-hmm. And she been going since 93?
Yeah, so it been about 11 years.
Yeah, so she'd be about 11 now?
Yup.
And so she's looking at her, and then we hear her father. She's telling her that, hi, I'm your mom. And she's like, who?
She's like, what? Get away from me, stranger. The fuck?
Yep. Stranger danger.
What you mean, mama?
And then
Unhand me, woman.
Yep. And then out comes her father. This no good piece of shit, Brian.
This nigga came out like, God damn, these old hoes. Miss, get away from my chat.
And then she sees Brian and Nate have a little chat. She hugs Brian and
he said, man, I ain't feeling that.
And then Brian is like, look at you. You haven't aged a day. And she's like, yo, why you ain't come get me? Like, didn't they contact you? He was like, yeah.
Yeah, they told me. Yeah, keep her ass in the jail. He said, keep her ass in the motherfucking jail.
He's like, you have to understand, Lily. I didn't think I was going to see you no more. I thought you was dead.
I thought you hit the road, Jack, and ain't come back. So, shit,
and then he tell Lily, I'm married.
Shit, I ain't got new hoes. What you mean?
And so Lily done put two and two together, and he's talking about how has been a good mother to Heidi. And we have a son now, too, a little boy.
Ooh.
Now, I'm going to say, Brian, you ain't shit. You ain't shit for telling that little girl she got a mama.
I mean, yeah, that's the only thing I give her some shit on because
that's it.
11 years is a long time, so I ain't gonna front niggas for moving on. I mean, like niggas need help in these streets, and you know white people need help. So shit.
Yep, but like you ain't shit for not telling her about her mama.
Yeah. At least you could have kept that going for at least she wanted to know and stuff like that. Keep that information flowing. They'll be hiding. People stop hiding that other part to the family member. People need to know their history. People need to understand whoever that other part of the family is. So if you got the information, spread the information.
Yeah, because she gonna find out sooner or later. When she does, she gonna be pissed.
Look at that. You never know. They could drop out of the sky like some alien and shit, and bam, your mama back after 11 years.
Yeah, but yeah, Lily is crushed at this point.
Oh yeah.
And I feel for ain't shit, Brian. So back, oh boy, it's our friend Orson again.
It's your buddy.
All right, so he looks like he has some kind of nursing home place. Mm-hmm. And so he's there. He goes to look around and see. And we find out the lady that he's going to see
is Elizabeth.
And from what I can tell here, at this point, Elizabeth has, well, she's older, of course, and she has dementia.
Oh, she definitely got onset dementia for sure. Her mind looked like it's gone straight from the day when she was waiting for her husband. It was that him disappearing on that date night was probably the thing that sent her over the moon with that.
Yeah, because he was already with her for 35. And,
Yeah.
all right,
And just never. I don't think she ever accepted that he never showed up on that night, and it really crushed her.
Yeah, when you've been with somebody for that long, I can definitely see that. Like they just up and gone.
Especially in that time, you got to think about that.
Mm-hmm.
In the 70s, it's probably been that she's been taking care of this one person, and this one person's been her whole life at that point. So if that nigga just up and gone, what is she supposed to do?
Yeah, especially at that age. Like once you've been with somebody that long and you up there numbers in that time, it's like it's like that's a shock. And so
her personality is her husband, and he was making all the money and shit like that. He had all the businesses, so it's like once he gone, you kind of stuck. You literally like it's a perfect capsule of saying that you're stuck. She's got dementia. She's stuck in the mind. She's stuck in the life. She's stuck in everything. So she got nothing. She got nothing.
Yep, I don't like this man, but I feel so bad for him at this point.
Yeah,
seeing his wife like that.
Yeah, it would make anybody go crazy.
Yeah, so that whole scene there, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
And then he's trying to comfort her, and you see him a little sobbing a bit at the end, and I'm like, oh man,
yeah,
damn. They really make you feel for these people though.
If you really get uprooted from your life for like many odd years, even if you're gone for like a week or something like that, it's big changes that can happen. Niggas assume that you ran away or something. Like, nigga, I got grabbed by some ball.
Yep, I like how they've really set up them being snatched
and so life far. Out and trying to readjust with life. I like how all of this has been cemented in this first episode.
Yeah, they really did a lot in this first episode.
That's what I'm saying, because we're about to compare something else.
So at this point, we see Sean at his house. You know, everybody, he's having a welcome back party, right? So he's there with his brother Danny. Mm-hmm. He's like, yo, Sean, most of your friends probably at college, so they ain't here right now.
They said, we're looking for who? Nah.
We see Nikki, who I think at the time he left was 14.
She was, see, the weird thing with Nikki was, that was something weird. He was too old for Nikki, because Nikki was like 14. She was young booty at that time. Mm-hmm. But now that he back and shit like that, they were right age right there, which is starting to get really creepy. But hey, that's what they want to rock with.
Yeah, the way they would look at each other, I'm like,
shit was hella creepy. I know you was at a certain age, you was young booty at that time, and that nigga was looking like a mean predator at the time. But now that years have shifted and you grow older, it's all okay. Like, nah, bro, that shit was creepy vibes. This young booty shit was weird.
That's a whole unpacking.
I know that's probably gonna be a whole unpacking, and I knew stepping into that shit, I was like, if I go any further, it's gonna be mad weird young booty shit.
Oh, I'm not gonna even listen. I'm not gonna say nothing.
That's the time for if a nigga continues.
So next thing we see Richard, and he's in St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
And so we see some homeless people, and Richard's just looking around. He's like, yo, I used to live here. And the homeless people,
nigga said, I live here now, bitch.
I would have kicked over his little heating can.
Fire told me he can't flip a nigga into a can.
Right? Talking all that shit, I would have knocked this fire can over.
This nigga, they wrote Richard as civil and docile as possible. They were like, we gonna make this black man weak.
Listen, I get it, because of the time period that he's from.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're back at the party, and we see Diana and Thomas there.
Mm-hmm.
And then so Thomas like, I brought you to the party so you can see that the returnees are human and put the name to a face.
Mm-hmm.
And remind them they're people, not viruses. So we get some interesting here because Linda shows up.
Mm-hmm.
And Tom introduces Linda to Diana. He's like, yeah, this is my partner, my work partner. And they meet, and he's like, yeah, this is my wife, Diana. She's like, nice to meet you. We're separated.
Yo, Linda wasn't cutting the mustard here. She was like, straight up, I don't like this nigga. I'm done. You want him? You can have him.
Yeah, she tells Tom, she's like, call me. We need to talk. And Linda walks off. And Diana was like, well, that was awkward.
Yeah. She said, I don't want none of that.
Right. Diana was like, yo, what you brought me in, son?
That ass, man. I ain't with this stress shit.
So then we see Sean. So Sean talking, a bird hits the window.
Whole ass Windex commercial.
For real. So Sean picks up the bird. Tom says the bird has a broken neck. They're talking. Next thing you know, the bird opens his eyes, pop back up, and he fly away.
Yeah, homie was in Sean's hands, and something. Homie woke up and swoosh.
Gone. So Tom saw it. Tom's like, okay.
He's got that emoji face.
Yep. So just weirdness going on.
Yep.
And so the next thing we see at the facility, we see Diana with Maya, and they found a family for Maya.
Yep, an adopted family.
Yep. I'm like, okay, right now.
Yep. Set her up real good, ready to go off with the family. And in the midst of Maya being creepy again, she's giving a premonition pretty much.
Yeah, she's like, I'll be back. You'll be seeing me again. And Diana's like, next week. She's like, no, sooner than that. And then she walks off. Diana's like,
okay, child, the fuck.
Oh, it's more Orson time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to be more perky. Okay, it's more. Yeah, I'm trying.
Orson time.
Right there you go. That's just like that. So Orson is back at his law firm. Law firm he's leaving from where he got snatched, and so he's talking to one of the current partners.
Yep.
And so he asked, like, "What's up? What's going on?" And Orson is like, "Yo, I'm coming back, get a corner office, some business cards, secretary."
Orson said, "I'm back. Get in my company."
And he's like, "I should be able to start seeing clients within a week or so." And homie is like, "You looking for a job?"
No, nigga, this is my company.
He's like, "This is still Kensington and Bailey, isn't it?" He's like, "Yo, I just had to let some people go. Times are tight."
We talking about?
Yeah, he's like, "I ain't got no openings for you right now, Mr. Bailey." He's
Nigga,
like,
my name is on the board.
That's exactly. He's like, "Son," he's like, "Openings." And then he was like, "Yo,
nigga, I am the door."
And his son was big man at this point because he's like, "Yo," he's like, "Look, my name is there." He's like, I still own part of this company." She's like, "Nah, homie."
Bro, son, you've been gone for so long. We put you out to pasture, and that name was only out of respect.
Yeah, he was like, "Listen, your wife took your interest in the company. She got bought out."
Yeah.
It's like when they declared you were dead, we bought you out. We gave that money to your wife.
Yeah,
he's
bro,
like,
why you think she's up for where she is?
Yeah. He's like, "I'm not dead." He's like, "Well, your wife accepted the agreement."
Yeah.
And Orson is going on like, "Yo, what happened to me has no precedence." He's like, "Well, until they figure out a precedent, ain't nothing I can do for you."
Facts, get out. What the? Oh, hell no. And we all know about white man's rage, especially old white man's rage.
And he breaks the glass.
And no blood came out of that. That was definitely sus. He busted that shit up into pieces in his hand like he was the Hulk.
Yep. Son was just angry. You're making me angry. You don't like me when I'm angry.
Orson smash.
Orson smash. And son homie looked shook. He like, this dude crazy.
Nah, he old and crazy.
So back at Maya's in her adopted parents' house.
Acting strange again.
So they show Maya to her room. Maya takes off her shoes and she puts them on top of the chair. And so they tell her, "Hey, we have one room here with no shoes on the furniture." And Maya says she puts them there because she doesn't want them to get wet.
They're like, "What the fuck you talking about?"
So they put them. So the parents put them back down on the floor, and she puts them back up on the chair.
She like, "I said what I said."
And so the next thing we see Richard just walking around. He's
seeing how much the world changed. He looking all around to all this interracial loving going down, and he like, "Man, this world this time is so accepting and shit like that. Where the fuck was this when I was loving?"
Right. Every couple he think of, he probably seeing him and Lily.
Yeah, grandmother. Like, damn son, yeah, the grandma Lily. But he said, "I could have been booed up in all this situation." This nigga sit in the booth, tried to smoke a cigarette. Some nigga see him off to the side. He said, "Look, yo, look at the sign. No smoking indoor." He like, "Nigga, I can't do nothing."
Yeah.
Put that motherfucker in his coffee. Like, God damn, son.
Yeah, so we just see snippets of each one of the returnees.
Yep, everybody reflecting on changes, hitting hard. Everybody hitting hard times. That whole shit with Sean and Young Booty. Man.
Yo, you got that. You got Orson with his wife.
You
got Richard just out and about.
And
then, so like you said, Richard's going through it. Lily going through it. Sean is going through it with Young Booty, as you call her.
Yep, Young Booty going down. And that's just been hitting everybody hard. So everybody dealing with that.
And it's just crazy. So everybody,
is the next scene we see with Maya or Orson?
The next scene we see would have been the holes in the house where Maya's new family is at. It's sprung leak. So we got the water is flowing.
Yeah.
At this
like
point.
Maya said, that sprung a leak and it started spreading out and the shit all got messed up.
Yep. So at that point, the leak has sprung and the water is flowing.
Yep.
So her stepmom went into the room, so Maya's shoes was back up on the couch, and
she was like,
Maya
she gave the same emoji face like everybody else was like,
and Maya gave her that creepy stare.
I was like, yo, imagine if Maya was your adopted child and that situation just happened, and then she just look at you after that. I'm like,
she gotta go back.
Taking this one back. No, I've seen the movie Orphan enough to know where this is going. I ain't about to get next. Bye.
Nah, Maya, I'm sorry. You too give me the willy. You too creepy. I gotta take you back.
Child, you won't do something to me in my sleep. You won't try and get rid of me. I know too much. You got to go.
Of course. Orson, if I'm not
Okay,
mistaken.
so Orson trying to
Yeah, it's
break.
Orson.
Yeah, all
It's
right.
Orson. So at this next point, it's Orson. He rolls up to dude's house. The partner he was talking to earlier.
Yep. He like, let me in, let me in. Shaking that old motherfucker.
He's ringing the bell like a wild man.
Yeah, he said, yo, you see me. I know how these damn things work. You can see me out here. Let me in. I want my company back. Give it back. Oh.
So Crazy Orson is ringing the bell like a madman.
Breaking in, trying to break in.
Nuts. Freaking nuts.
Yep, breaking in, say, yo, let me in, shaking the damn gate, shaking everything, shaking, and then somehow out of nowhere started causing an earthquake. Motherfucker shaking all over the motherfucking place.
Yes, son. He's like, let me in, let me fuck in. Like, you know where I'm at. Yeah, he started shaking the gate like a madman. Then windows started exploding.
Yep, house started shaking.
Yep, so son is like, what's going on? Everything started shaking, glass exploding.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened to son head, but he got something done to him.
Yep,
I don't know what wasn't did to him, but
something quaking in his head and something quaking in Orson's head, and both of them all went off, and then just the snap, and homie perfectly fell back into that damn thing that was up. So
it was a table.
It impaled his ass.
Yeah, the thing was holding the table. The glass.
So fucking perfect.
He fell back. I don't know. He got an aneurysm or head something, but then son dropped, and then he fell back right into it.
Yeah, and it kills him, and then that was the ending of the episode, right?
Yeah, that was the ending of the episode. So I knew you wasn't shit, Orson. I tried to give you a bit for the dot. I knew your ass wasn't shit.
Yeah, someone gave you too much. That's what you was already a high, powerful old white man. Now they giving you strength. Oh no, no.
Out here killing motherfuckers.
Yeah, you had to be the first one to push it too far, eh? So my final thoughts on this is this show's concept is very interesting. At first, I thought it was people of the same time, but people of different generations getting taken for years only to be returned and have to adjust. Also with powers is absolutely wild. Now, first episode is definitely enough to be wondering about what everybody going to do and what powers they got. So after that, that's already a cliffhanger to keep going with that.
Yeah, so my thoughts on this are very simple. I was hooked on this from the jump. From when they first started and people getting snatched up, the way this is formatted, it's not just sci-fi. Honestly, the sci-fi here is just...
It's very minimal sci-fi. Yeah. I mean, like the sci-fi of it is literally the landing of the comet and shit like that. Other than that, yo, you can't even really say powers per se. Sci-fi is everything that they try to do with alien standpoint, and even that was interesting.
Yeah, so the first episode is not really sci-fi heavy. It's more drama and it's mystery heavy. This is more X-Files right now.
Yes, 100%.
Something like Battlestar Galactica. So
yeah, and I like Star Wars now.
So I like the way that they built up the characters in this first episode.
Yeah,
like
very much.
You feel
something with everybody, whether you like them or not.
Yeah, you found somebody that you can relate to in this first episode.
Or
somebody
you can understand.
That you can have an attachment to.
Yeah.
So this was a definitely continue, especially with the way they left off.
Definitely.
All right.
So let's get into episode 1 of the reboot called Past Is Prologue. So they didn't even start off with an episode called Pilot like most of these motherfuckers. This one had a title. So let's get into this.
All right, so you know how I feel about the whole little premise pilot they have for that. So, all right, let's go into the marginalized people.
Yeah, we start off with an interracial couple waking up in bed.
Yep, and so they're talking about, they're getting back adjusted. So the wife is just coming off maternity leave, and she's getting ready.
Yep, the baby crying is named Mariah.
Yep. So at this point, Mariah is 4 months old, and like I said, they're just getting everything ready.
First day back to work after maternity, all that.
Taking pictures, all that nice stuff. So the next thing we see this man, our lovely first character. She's getting in her car. And my first thing is the green light. Yeah,
and the way, I want to talk about this in the retrospective, but the way how these people get snatched up is so violent.
Yeah,
they get dragged out of this motherfucker.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? So like I said, this is Shanice. So we get our first intro to Shanice. So at this point, Shanice is, like I said, she's just getting ready to get into her car.
Yep, singing in the car, everything, and then that green light came in and said, "Come here, bitch."
Yeah. Now, what don't be crazy is that she's good. She's driving. She's at a stoplight. She's vibing. Car start crackling. The wind, and so she just gets sucked up by the car.
This nigga said, "Come here, bitch."
And then the next thing you know, we see her thrown down on the floor, and then we see more people fall on the floor. Then we see all these
generate. This shit happens so fast,
son. I'm like, we see all these green openings coming. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And not in a good way. It's like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm. All that time and dedication spent to something, once again, I'll say that for the retrospective. Yeah. But yeah, people are getting grabbed up and snatched up and sent into a location. They all asking where the fuck they at.
She got knocked down by a dude that came from a portal.
Landed straight on her.
Disrespectful ass portal.
Yep. They grabbed them, threw them to the ground, and have them knocking into each other. These niggas is if these motherfucking aliens, these are belligerent aliens this time.
Man, if these are aliens, they don't give a fuck about none of these people.
Nigga said last time the other motherfuckers came earlier and they was all sweet and nice to y'all. We said, fuck all y'all. We ain't like y'all none.
And so Shanice is asking where she's at. The dude was asking where they were. She's like, yo, I think this is Bell's Isle. And dude's like, in Brooklyn? She's like, nah, in Detroit.
Gee, what?
He's like, excuse me? And so yeah, like I said, we see more people falling. So
we see police and helicopters rolling all over.
So they hear sirens and all this stuff. It's like, yo, they don't know what's going on.
Mm-mm.
And so at this point, the dude that fell on her, like she's a doctor, and now all the portals stopped, and we got a whole bunch of people in this park.
Yep.
No explanation, no reasoning, just like they're all here.
Yep, we here.
And we see the helicopters flying around, and we see all the cop cars. They sure they got there fast, but I guess all the portals open, and I guess somebody reported something.
Mm-hmm. After the first certain person they saw.
Yep. So the next scene, we see some people getting scanned.
Yep.
This looks like it's some kind of hotel.
And the first name we hear is Keisha Taylor, parole officer, with her girlfriend boss trying to figure out what the hell happened on Bell Ave.
Yeah, man, this is wild. So yeah, we get our first intro to Keisha and Jarrell.
Mm-hmm.
This point, and I see this is crazy. So they got scanned in. Woo woo woo.
Mm-hmm.
So Keisha, she's trying to like, yo, listen, Keisha Taylor. She's like, yo, what's up? It's like I'm a parole officer.
Yep.
She's like, what am I doing here? What's going on? Tell me what's going on. And then she gets pulled aside, and because she really trying to find like, yo, you're gonna tell me why I'm here? What's up?
Yeah.
Like my boss told me to come down here. He ain't tell me nothing else. Why am I here? What's going on? I'm not with this.
Nope.
I'm not with this. Why am I here? What's going on? It's the bullshit.
Big time.
Right? So she gets pulled aside, which we find out is her girl.
Yep.
And she filled it in, and she's like, yo, did you set this up just to get me over here?
Facts. She said, nah, it's the bullshit for real. You got to work.
Yeah. Today, nah, this is all business. Say this is all business.
Yep.
It's like, all right, bet. So why am I here?
Yeah, they figuring what the fuck happened. They snatched up everybody in that area in a roundabout.
Yep. She's like, you heard about the people at Bell Isle? She's like, yeah. Well, that's why you here.
Yep.
Say, listen, you and this social worker over here, we all need to figure out what's these people deal.
Mm-hmm.
And they're gonna do it.
Big time.
And then so we're seeing all of these people.
Yeah, black men and black women alike of generations trying to figure stuff out.
Yep. See the doctor, smooth talker over here. See a little boy.
Yep.
Little girl. Like I said, we in Detroit.
Yep.
And they looking around, and it's like, why are we here? What's going on?
Yeah, people are being held and trying to figure out their timelines and stuff like that.
They are all confused.
Yep.
They're like, what is going on? Like, yo, I just want to go home.
Facts.
So they're all confused. They're like, yo, what year is this? No, nah, I left in 2005. Nah, I left in 1946. What are you talking about? So
the hell you mean a two?
Shanice, like, hold up, y'all. She turns around to the cop and she asks him, she's like, yo, what year is this?
Said, nigga, this is 2021.
He's like, it's 2021. And they're like, she turns around and they look at each other like 2021. And he looks at the security guard like, what year did you guys think it is?
You see everybody going through the head cannon.
Like, they're trying to figure out, it's like, the hell you mean me in 2021?
Mm-hmm.
And it's all trying to sink in like, nah, son, listen, it's like, it can't be 2021. I came from 1963.
Yeah, son. They was all having a struggle with that situation.
Mm-hmm. So we get back and we see
Keisha
Jarrell.
with Jarrell.
Yep, Jarrell sitting there. Jarrell telling them to take off the glass. Keisha like, nah.
Social worker.
Yeah. So they have a little back and forth, and Keisha like, nah, the glass stay. I don't know what Jarrell trying to do, but
they battling on that deals of plexiglass through like the idea of the pandemic, because this is a show created after the pandemic.
Yeah.
And then there was also Jarrell was talking about his life under the border rule, that he said people are uncomfortable being between like that plexiglass trying to talk because you're not treating them like humans.
Yeah, exactly. Now Keisha's like, nah, we ain't playing that. We ain't playing.
Keisha's so by the book, yo.
Well, she's a parole officer. PO.
Yeah, she definitely okay, but she definitely by the book. Like, goddamn.
Yeah, that's most POs for you.
I get that, but she's definitely on the side of you already guilty. They like proving the motherfucker is irrelevant. You done guilty, nigga. You gotta move hella high water to show me that you innocent.
Yeah, I think about who she would be working with on a regular basis. And
I get that, but Jesus Christ, man.
No love.
No, none at all.
No love at all. And so at this point, we see some more interactions between the returnees.
Mm-hmm.
And
I said they already sick of the white people around. And
they
niggas together, and they was like, "Oh, it look like white people still doing this shit around here."
Right? If it's 2021, I would expect more progress. Don't look like much change.
Them 1960, 1950, 1970 niggas was like, white people still in power? God damn!
Like this still bullshit. Still going on. Like, son.
We ain't done nothing. The revolution ain't been televised yet.
All that shit we did, and this is it. Fuck.
Martin Luther, all that shit. Still with this? Still with the bullshit? I still like. You sure it ain't 1960 something?
Like, nah, send me back. Something happened along the way. We gotta fix this shit. Send me back.
What the hell? I'm going back to tell all them niggas. The revolution will start with gun rise.
Yeah, and so we see
everybody getting called.
Yeah, we see Bernice. She's not okay. She's just like that. 2021 really hit her.
Yeah,
and she's just like, son, what about my kid?
Yeah,
talking about 2021. Listen, my kid was only
6 months. 4 months. Yeah.
In this case, and she's like, listen, Shanice is like. So that's all that's occupying her mind right now.
Mm-hmm. While people around getting researched and asked what was the last thing that they kind of remember. So that was all on the video file and them getting interviewed out.
But that thing we see the cameras rotate the other way and the door open.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, blonde girl, who are you and what are you doing?
Yeah, Shanice meets up with a girl named Mildred. And it looked like she was feeling Shanice's story, so it looked like she moved the luck with her mind or something. So Mildred frees Shanice in a sense, and she says, "You got to go find your family." Yeah. Mildred like, I don't really got nobody, but you seem like you got people to look for. So go ahead.
She was like, "Go be free, go
fast, go, my butterfly, be free." And then also the other thing I noticed is this is definitely a show after the pandemic time because all the police officers are still in masks.
Oh yeah, this is definitely.
Yeah, these are the things that you kind of got to point out with shows after or mid getting recorded of the pandemic. Niggas is just wearing masks on screen.
Yeah, it's still here in this episode.
Yeah, very much so. That's just real world shit. And then they bring it up during the episode of showing that even in the showtime, it's pandemic time that passed.
Yeah, we still in it, y'all. We are still in it.
Yep.
And this show is still in it.
Yep. And everything will continue to still be in it. We will talk about these time periods of shows just being in masks going forward.
Yeah, that's I don't like that new normal. That's where we are.
Even all the backstages, if you watch backstage of like a lot of shows nowadays, it's just straight people in the crews and masks and shit like that. It's just gonna have to be how it be.
Yeah, it's like this is
it's weird.
It's very much weird.
Yep.
But back to the story at hand.
Yeah, Shanice get free. Shanice is on the bus. Because, I mean, her car and all that shit done snatched. So she hopping on the bus, watching the world change. She watching niggas on their phone, hitting TikToks and shit like that. She was like, yo, I've been out for a minute. What the fuck is... She looked at that iPhone like, where your flip at? Where that raise at, bro? What's going on?
So she goes past her old college and she gets a flashback of when her and her husband met.
Yeah, the backstory. All right, this is another low key thing that CW be doing too much, but it's that white man saving black girl thing. How Shanice met her husband Logan in the middle of a protest time during her growth to being a lawyer in Detroit. No blood for oil. This is literally like the way how I'm explaining it is exactly how they gave it out. He met her. She told her whole story to this random nigga. I'm trying to be a lawyer in Detroit to change all the revolutions, and I'm in this protest about no blood for oil. Like, goddamn.
Yep, that is exactly it. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
The hell?
He came in to save Shanice from getting hit by the cop. He was like, no, you've been raised right. That this white man come in to save.
Man, listen, my eyebrows have been raised so much during this thing so far.
Trust me, man. It's definitely a CW thing up the alley, man. When it says networks affect shows, this is if I haven't ever gotten used to watching, me and my beloved the Captain Kenya is just like, we watch a lot of CW. This is literally a CW branded show for sure.
I have not watched CW consistently in a long time.
I
so
know it's a lot of mess. Oof. But yeah, so we go back to K and J. That's what I'm saying, them on the low, because this is just them going back and forth. They have a hard time figuring stuff from people's stories.
Yeah, man. They're like, listen, don't nobody know nothing. It's just about some green light snatched them up.
Yeah, and Kane trying to hear none of that shit. Green light? No, that sounds like bullshit.
Hey, so it's the bullshit.
And Jake trying to be like, nah, have a heart, girl. The hell? These people.
Got him locked up in his hotel.
That ass. You black. What you mean you want to lock up more black people in here? Like, what's wrong with you?
Jarrell done pulled the time and say, listen, I got to go take this call. You got this.
Shit. Oh, yeah, he took that at the interesting point, because that's when she talked to this one homie that just ain't talk to nobody.
Don't speak.
No, don't say nothing.
She's like, just looking like, so you haven't spoken since you arrived.
Yeah, what's going on? What you hiding, kid?
Right. And then so we get back to the doctor, and he's looking at old girl wound, and he saw that her wound has gone down a lot.
Yeah,
so when we first saw it,
way more. It was made more cut than that. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, when we first saw her wound, it was almost all the way across her leg, and then he looked at it now. It's about a quarter of the size it was.
Yeah.
So that is wild.
Yep.
So from what we can tell, she has some healing ability.
Yeah, something going down with that.
Yeah, man.
And then in the midst of all this, authorities is being alerted that Shanice escaped.
Oh yeah. Shanice is woo.
Shanice is on that AWOL bullshit.
She got that Corva heat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They all trying to chase her down. Big police energy. So Shanice finally makes it to her house, and she's knocking on the door, and the most Karen shit happens. Bro, she knocks on that door, and some white lady pulls up to the window. It was like, no, there's a black girl acting belligerent at my doorstep, and yes, she is armed. She was like, what armed? And the moment she said that, nigga, the cop was there in 2.5 seconds. I heard whoop whoop. It's like the nigga was around the corner. Them white neighborhoods get them shits fast. They said she armed. Whoop whoop.
Yep, all she did was come and knock on the door.
Yeah, she was like, I'm trying to look for my family. Are you here? What's good? What happened? I could have just said, whoever's here is not here no longer. You could even say it by the window. You didn't have to call the whole ass cop. Nobody in here armed.
And Shanice knew it was going down. She was like, oh, shit.
She said, fuck. And she booked it out of there.
And then still like, yes, I think she's armed. I'm like,
nigga, you
look. For where? How'd you come to this conclusion?
There was no conclusion. She said black. That's armed enough. She's armed with skin color.
So Shanice was out. She heard the whoop whoop.
Yup. So she started dipping. All the cops go searching. Shanice deviates into a different spot. Everybody start to search and shit. Jarrell saw her go out through an area, and Jarrell just gonna keep his eye on that and not tell nobody nothing, because he know where this shit about to go. So Jarrell was like, all right, we gonna go splitting up like Scooby-Doo. Y'all go looking over there. I'm gonna go look over there where I know she is. So I'm gonna keep it safe. So he go follow over that area. Shanice pulling up everywhere. She pulls up to her old babysitter, and she knocks on the door. Babysitter strapped like a motherfucker. She even said, yo, I know how old you are, miss. If you pull up in that shotgun, you gonna blow yourself back.
Hold up. So first, before we get to the babysitter that's packing the heat, I love how Keisha rolled up and Jarrell just misdirected her and the whole squad.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he said to Scooby-Doo. He said, you go over there, and I'm going to go over there where I know she at.
So, like, they went that way. Yeah, she went that way.
This nigga said, I know where this is going, and it ain't good. So, y'all take y'all fucking police by the book ass over there.
Yeah, he's like, I'm out. He's like, Keisha, you got this, he looked down where she was, but and then pulled off,
Exactly. So Shanice pulling up, old babysitter strapped as fuck. Old babysitter ready to be about that life, and she was like, nah, you put that down before you hurt yourself, miss. And then she opened up the door, and she was like, Shanice, Nene, hey you,
listen,
don't come in. The fuck?
She seems like she's in a pretty nice neighborhood. I can see why this would be a necessary precaution.
Oh, please. This old lady watching those.
Listen, right?
She been ready for the like I said, when them niggas in 1967 said that has the revolution been televised, that lady been ready. She said, just call me, and them niggas never called. That gun was from the 70s, nigga.
Listen, she like, I got plenty more.
Facts.
Look, one under the bed, one in the closet, one under, look the floorboards.
She's definitely the one that once you go by the floorboards and you think you got her sillied up, she gonna push a button, pull that shit right out the bed, and was like, "Oh, you didn't think I was strapped?"
Look, you see this little cover on the ceiling? Yeah, you just press this button over here, drop down. Let's go.
Bro, it's under the walker. It's the cane is also a makeshift gun. Like, listen, bro, she ready. She's like,
listen, you standing on one right now. You good? Let's just kick the board up.
That ass.
Mrs. Grover is about that action.
Mm-hmm.
So Mrs. Grover, she finally done let her in.
Yeah. So that situation goes down with that. And then I think the next scene we go into is when we go back to the base where everybody's being held there. Everybody trying the new foods out here. They set them up and they finally feeding these motherfuckers. And they finally getting some food. So they trying to figure out these new age foods that's out there.
Mm-hmm. They discovered soda.
Yeah.
In a can.
She was like, how the hell this shit work? And homie sweet talking Reverend come out of nowhere. He said, you just popped the top.
Yes, slick talk. So I see you silver tongue. We don't trust you though.
Yeah, Mr. Reverend out here. But after that situation, some of the people who are in captures are starting to beef with each other because you know what happened when high energy people are in the same captivity, they start beefing just off rip.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
we definitely get some of that. It's like, oh, whew.
Yeah.
What threw me off guard was, Shanice, she ready to go out. She's like, listen, I'm time to go. Miss Carver like, listen, girl, you wild enough. Listen, you gonna stay here. You gonna get some rest tonight.
Yeah, the babysitter
crazy.
Her former babysitter was being real nice. Shanice was being gung ho and all this shit. And she's like, baby girl, you got to chill out. Your energy got to be straight. Even the babysitter started to let off a little history on Shanice too because she was like, I'm glad to see you ain't gone like your daddy. Well, damn. I ain't shade.
Yeah,
like, I ain't nothing like my father. I was like, oh well, okay. I guess we're doing that kind of story.
She's like, listen, you need to go get you a rest, something, because you talking real crazy right now.
Shit, you need to calm down and relax. And then while that shit's going down with Shanice, going back at the center, oh girl, what you said her name was?
Which one?
For the lady from the one in the green dress.
Just that.
Roll.
That's Claudette. Claudette.
Claudette. All right, Claudette. She wanted to test her healing factor ability. So she saw old fancy girl. We get a name from her.
Yes, we did. So. It's a lot of people.
I know a lot of but old fancy acting in the present time girl, she got them long ass nails, so she wanted to test her theory. So she went in the bathroom. She told her to cut her. So she was like, oh, I ain't into all that shit. What you trying to do? If you're trying to bleed out and blame me, don't be about that shit. She was like, you've been hiding shit from the gods, and I don't want to tell the god you've been smitten in that you out here purging yourself. So she agreed to her cut theory. She cut her, and she was like, oh, no, what the fuck I done did? And she bled out for like 2 seconds, and then that shit just started to heal itself instantly. And they both saw that shit, and it was like, oh, no, what the hell? So we realized she definitely got the healing ability.
Yeah, it looks like it's getting stronger. So it's just...
Oh, yeah, it's working mad fast. So it's starting... Something's up with them.
I don't know what's going on with these people, dude.
Yeah.
They throwing too much of this. They throwing too much of this.
It's between her, the doc, and the rich acting other black girl from the current time period. So they want to... They know they got these power, but these current power right now, but they want to hide it from others because if they know already they're black, and if they get exposed for any kind of extracurricular powers and shit like that, they're going to get poked and prodded like an alien themselves.
Yeah. And they start to realize they're like, yo, we didn't come back the same as we left.
Yeah, so it's next day in the morning, and Jarrell is standing. He's outside the house where Shanice is with her babysitter, and Shanice steps out for like a second to I don't know, get the paper or something, and she realized Jarrell out there, and she like, I ain't going back. And Jarrell like, I ain't really trying to take you back. I'm trying to help you go see your family.
Right? He's like, listen, I'll help you out.
Yeah, he said I help you out, and she like, well, all right, we be with it. And then it looked like Shanice is wearing some of the clothes from an old babysitter because he was like, all right, it looked like you trying to be fashion forward. And she was like, well, this ain't what I be about. It's from the old lady.
She was like, some stuff is timeless.
Facts.
That's what Miss Carver told me.
Yeah, that's the excuse. So shifting back because we going back and forth between Shanice's story and the crowd. So the crowd is fed up. They want to go. They get held back too long,
So
crowd battling back with the police station, and in the midst of this shit, it looked like some powers almost came out, because it looks like exactly what we see on the news with Black Lives Matter and the police force, because it looked like it was going down like that whole situation.
Yep. So we got some people here. I'm gonna try to get some people in here. So we got Dr. Andre here. We got Claudette here. We got LaDonna here.
Yep.
It's a lot of people. Like I said, it's so many people in this scene.
What was it? The one who Mildred's in there, and she was literally a second when she saw that white cop come in with the bat and was ready to use that on some. Mildred was about to use that power.
Yeah.
He already started shaking his bat.
And the dude, the silent dude.
Yep, he was standing there too.
He held on his shoulder, and said, "Nah, don't do that."
Yep. And then right in the midst of that sweet talker out here, slick talk, he out here trying to make a compromise between the situation to kill it all, to die down the situation here.
Yeah, they're trying to diffuse the situation, but
yeah, he come at a compromise. He was like, you can start letting us go, or like let us get some more rights here, get some beds if we stay in here, like get us situated so we ain't just chilling here with no mercy.
Yeah, so it's like, whew. Yeah, we got the one that's over there making the demand. That's Hayden. So he's like silver tongue.
Yeah, he's trying to be a reverend here, young reverend out here. He's all talk as good as he can out here. So that's the situation trying to be diffused. And then we go back to Shanice, who finally makes it to wherever the hell her family was. She knocked on the door, and similar like something else we done saw, Shanice gets an opening at the door by said daughter Mariah, but it's been 16 years. Mariah big and grown. And then right after Mariah, she sees Logan after all this time.
Yep.
And Logan like, Shanice, why you here? Why you pulled up? What the hell? Where you been at? What the hell's going on?
Yep. And so Logan tells Mariah to go inside.
Yeah.
He closes the door, and Logan and she's like, Shanice like, I'm happy to see you. She's like, Shanice, what are you doing? It's like, I came to find you. And he's like, she's all shocked, and she's like Mariah's a teenager, and Logan is like, do you really think you could just walk out on your family for 16 years and then come on back?
You walked out, and Logan was like, yo, I had to move on. There's already a woman in the house, like.
So Shanice is like, what do you mean I didn't walk out on you? It's like, that's not what's happening. It's like I was taken or something. It's like, I don't know what happened, but listen, I did not walk out on you. And he looks at Darrell. He's like, who that? He's like, oh, that's a long story. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And so at that point, she's like, I did not walk out on you. It's like, the day you say I left, I got snatched. And then, woo!
Even in the midst of this, she was like, when she saw the woman, she was like, how long? And he was like, it happened 9 years ago. So at least he gave her some grace. At least he gave her some grace period. He was by himself trying to raise this child for like 7 years before he started shifting on to somebody else. So at least that was that. But then when the police started to pull up, he was like, Shanice, I don't know what the hell you did or what happened and stuff like that. And she's getting pulled off, Logan's like, but I found the note. And she was like, the note? Oh, fuck. No, I didn't mean it like that. So I'm thinking as a viewer in this shit, I'm like, what note?
What note, right?
What's going on? What note?
Because we ain't seen no note, but man, listen,
Exactly.
I guess a note.
Yeah, there's some kind of note. So
maybe the aliens left a note.
Yeah, as far as we know, she getting dragged off by the cops and all that shit in front of her picnic and everything looking extra embarrassing. Black woman looking crazy.
Well, at least her child knows who she is, unlike some people.
Oh yeah, I mean, 7 years. Homie had to explain something. She half black and she got black hair. My son had to learn the shit. My son was like, oh Lord, why this black woman leave me? Oh God. And then he met and married somebody white. Like, this don't help nothing.
CW, why?
Make it make sense.
And Keisha, why?
Yeah, I don't know. She got no mercy for her own people. I swear. Like, even Jarrell had the next thing is Jarrell and Keisha fighting over the idea of humanity over a system, because she dragged this black woman a fellow black woman with all this police right in front of her family and her daughter and shit, like embarrassing her whole shit. And it's like you ain't had a shred of decency for your own people. Like all she did was try to come back to go find her family. You made her look fucking crazy.
Right, all this time she's like, "It's not what you think, Logan. It's not what you think, yo." I like to see it all, yo.
No, all
this
these white people looking at this black lady getting dragged out in these streets, getting pulled away by her own fellow black people.
I ain't feeling this at all, yo. I'm not feeling this scene at all.
No.
And Logan himself, he just confused as fuck. He's like, "What?"
Yeah,
the
he
fuck
like,
is
"What
going
you
on?"
do? What you do?" Like
He's
y'all
like-
niggas wasn't fighting the system years ago. Like, come on, bro.
And that's what he trying to figure out. He's like, "Yo, what you get yourself into? If you ain't leave, what happened to you?"
Facts. So she getting grabbed up, K and J battling over that idea, and while Shanice gets sent all the way back to where everybody else is staying at, Shanice finally talks to the doc and she confides in the doc and she explains what the note was about. And the note was about pretty much exactly kind of the idea of her having a situation where Mariah was born. Early on when Mariah was born, she had postpartum. And in the postpartum, she left a note where it was like getting to be too much and she was going to leave them behind, but she never gave the note. She left it in the glove compartment. So she had the note ready to say like, I might be leaving one day, but she never got rid of said note. She just put it in the glove compartment, and that's really what fucked her up.
Damn, Shanice. So he found the note.
Yeah, man. Because obviously, if you gone missing, they're gonna search every nook and cranny. And since you got a fucking note still hidden there, baby girl, you should like any part of you that was feeling nice. You should have tossed that shit a long time ago. Now you got evidence.
So I guess at the time she didn't think she was gonna be snatched up for.
Yeah, but she said that was like early on set into the thing. So I guess I don't know when she started feeling better and shit like that. She should have been like, "Yo, I guess
because when she was snatched, her daughter was only 4 months.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the time frame wasn't that big.
I just wish since she felt good enough to start going back to work, she was like, "Oh, glove compartment," and toss that bitch.
Yeah, probably, and then probably meant to destroy it, but the aliens got to her first.
Yeah, that would have been a big or when she started feeling better, maybe she would have waited for the glove compartment and was like, "Here's this note. I felt a way at a certain time, but I don't feel that way anymore." And explain that to your husband before now you gone and this note is here. So I mean, you kind of adding things up, like you're not thinking aliens gonna snatch you.
So yeah, so next we have a nice little moment here between Claudette and LaDonna.
Oh yeah,
where LaDonna's just telling her like, "Listen, I ain't got nobody." She's like, "I'm stuck here. I'm all alone." She's like, "All I want is my phone." Mm-hmm. And Claudette like, "Yo, your generation got a weird attachment to your phone."
I mean, she right.
And she's like, "Yeah," and she was like, "Listen, you're not by yourself." He's like, we all here. We're like, "Yo, we all in this together because we all know what's going on."
Yeah, they on their High School Musical shit. We all in this together. Mm-hmm. So people all banding together, and as usual, when black people all together, music being played. So old girl go to that piano and started playing that good stuff. We got if you look at the crowd, everybody's dancing in different generation styles. Like everybody doing that whole thing. But this whole scene, I'm not gonna lie, like subsequent to anything ever, this is CW up the ass. CW does this in all their shows. They love Broadway musicals. So this whole scene got turned into a musical. It was definitely CW style. I looked at this and this was CW style musical. And then in the midst of all that fun, what happened? White cop comes and said, "Y'all niggas having too much fun." That's what happens every time black people have fun. White people come in and say, "Hey, y'all having too much fun. Cut it."
Yep. The only person of color that was one of the cops took down his mask. He's ready to jam too, and they hang on this dude. No, we can't do none of that.
Nigga said, "Cut that shit out. Cut it out. Cut it out." I said, "End the music." And he shoved it, and old girl got cut.
Yep.
And Reverend came up concerned about the blood on the piano.
Yeah, Reverend, I give Rev that. Hayden was about to roll up on him like, "Yo, what's up?"
He said,
"Are you good?"
Lady got cut, and she was like, "What's going on?" He peeping. He trying to figure out if she okay. And the doc flew into there and was like, Nah, I got it. Remember, I'm a doctor. I'm gonna go handle this shit." And he go Reverend all sus about this shit. He see the blood on the piano, the shit. He like, "Nah, she got cut bigger than that. I gotta see what's going on."
Yeah, bitch ass cop talking about the piano's off limit. Yo, what?
Like what? What you talking about, bro? They just having fun. Why you so agitated?
Yo,
It's the same cop from earlier who was trying to hit them with the baton.
Yo, Claudette ready to fight. Yeah, listen.
Shit, I'm ready to fight at this point. And then after that situation went down, we got K and J back at it again, and they continue their battle on ideas with government keeping people down. They have so much back and forth throughout this episode about ideals.
Man, I'd be like, yo, Mildred, go handle it. Yeah, do the thing.
Yeah, facts.
Do the thing, Mildred.
I wouldn't have stopped her. I wouldn't have stopped her. That baton would have flew and started beating that nigga's ass.
Yeah, go ahead.
Shit, do the thing, Mildred. Do the thing. Like Julie. So Jarrell talks about his history while he's talking to Kay, and Jarrell's looking for his brother Manny. Kay also says that she got connections in DHS with Agent Tana, who's her girl. She was talking about her. The reason why Kay is a parole officer in the system is because her sister was killed by a bad officer she was just being a regular old college student. And he was looking for the wrong person. He discharged his weapon on an unarmed person, in our timeline. So someone got capped off of that, and that's why she became a parole officer.
Yep, she does. She explains it.
Mm-hmm. So
nice details.
In the midst of this, somebody's a whistleblower. Someone drops the info on the 4400 being kept into the thing, and it makes news. So now people are knowing about it.
Well, Shanice was a hole out there. They chasing her down
in the streets, in the streets.
So I'm not surprised somebody done put two and two together.
Mm-hmm. So whistleblower dropped that info. There's a whole conglomerate of a situation where the black folk start talking. They start getting together and they start talking about how they're starting to realize that if they got these powers, they might possibly have other powers, and they realize that they ain't powerless and they're not gonna stand for this shit any longer. So in the midst of this, DHS is discussing the possibility of maybe alien connections, and that's kind of like the first time the thought of like aliens come up in this conversation, actually.
Yeah.
So that's the discussion on that, and they're trying to figure out everything goes together. And then in the midst of that, the Silent Boy pulls up and he speaks.
Yeah. So this is Hayden.
Yeah,
I kept getting him and the Reverend Isaiah confused because they look so similar.
That's what I'm saying. Well, I'm gonna speak about this. There's a part in the retrospective that I definitely want to speak about in a few minutes.
Okay.
But all right, the Silent Boy speaks, and he tells Jarrell that Manny is all right, and to tell Jarrell that he's sorry for everything, and he's telling this to Keisha.
Yeah, he's telling that to Keisha to tell Jarrell. So Hayden speaks.
So that's the cliffhanger. So the episode ends with the 4400 logo and the theme.
Yeah.
So that's the end of the episode. My final thoughts is the show now moves both very fast with their material, with more minorities over the years being abducted and a different timeline. This makes for a slightly interesting take on things, but the cliffhanger, the Silent Kid does hook for the follow episode. That's the main hook on that, is this kid and what the hell's going on with that. Especially going on with Jarrell. It's more a focus on Jarrell. And it was like the second it happened, it just made me realize instantly when Jarrell had to go take that phone call and didn't talk to the kid. I was like, all right, I would have set up everything even earlier. So I guess I know why that didn't happen.
So my thoughts on this episode is it was a mess. They tried to do too much.
Yeah.
They tried to get to too many people. They introduced way too many people.
I mean, you're noticing how we talk about that first show in comparison to this one, and we can't pull up names. I wonder why.
Because it's too many people being thrown at you at once. Like, why am I trying to figure out 16, 17 different people, and I got to figure out who you are, who are you, what are you doing? The fact that you all got chucked, random people throwing left and right. Who are you? Oh my God, who are you? Where did you come from?
In just such a specific and violent manner, with the green light and the way how they got thrown at each other. It's like they got thrown at us on screen too.
Yeah, these green aliens, they disrespectful as fuck.
Yeah, these niggas is mean. These are hood niggas. What? These are aliens that specifically was from Detroit.
Real. But yeah, they just do too much. They could have split this into a two-parter and then at least fleshed it out. But they
They
try to
just said
throw
pilot part 1 and part 2 like the old one was. Instead of
they
pilot is prologue, nigga. I'm lost.
yeah. It's the reason that first pilot was 2 hours. Like, give it time to breathe. Y'all do too much try to throw too much into this little 45/hour block.
Yeah.
And it just came off as overwhelming and confusing. The pacing is just all over the place. It's too much. It's too much.
So going into my pizza notes on the retrospective, both shows has its own charm to it. I personally think I was more hooked to the original, but the new one has its own love as well. Now, like one of the comparison I wanted to talk about is Lucy and Shanice, because they're both dealing with the loss of time with their family moving on, especially them both having daughters that they came back are way older and they have to move on from their family most likely. Also my mind was, Richard would have fit well into this new generation. That nigga missed out. I think this would have been the perfect time for Richard to pull up now more than ever. I was curious if they was gonna make callbacks, but it seems, I mean, for the most part, so far the callbacks, I haven't noticed anything so far. But you'd have to tell me that you've seen more of this than I have. I was curious if also it seems like the government was way more restrictive and hush on things in 2021 than they was in 2004. Niggas was on the news reports. Everybody knew about the 4,400 niggas that just popped up out of nowhere. And in Belle Ave, this happened with all the cops and the police force that came around. But they kept it so hush somehow in 2021. But in 2004, all the secrets came out. If you had some hidden niggas, you would have known.
So yeah, in terms of just retrospective, oh boy. Okay, so
yeah, we're gonna go back and forth on it. Go ahead.
There's some So of course, for me personally, I like the original. Always was gonna top this only because of how it's structured.
Mm-hmm. The nameplate was so important, man. Just focus on who the hell we should be focusing on. They didn't just snatching motherfuckers out of. They gave us Shanice, and then they snatched a whole bunch of motherfuckers, and they never told us their name and vicinity and all this shit. And I'm like, bro, I'm not connected to these guys.
So going from the original to the new one, they kept some things like the character of Lily and the character of Shanice. They're basically one and the same.
Yeah.
The same thing goes for Maya and Hayden.
Yeah.
Same concept. They kept that same concept.
I was just gonna say I even like the in the original, the anticipation of the arrival of the comet was real nice. I don't like how they just grabbed niggas, throw them one way, and then was like, all right, here's your 4,400. Like, damn, nigga, I like the anticipation, the build up.
They completely just brushed over, and CW does this, and this is why I don't typically watch CW shows as much as I used to, but they kind of completely brushed over getting the original premise across, was the people being taken.
Yeah.
It's like, for them, what they did, the new one, is they snatched them up and just threw them right back out like they went to some kind of trash dispenser.
Dead ass.
It's like
that other one, it was a white beam of nice life. People got snatched up, but they wasn't violently, and they was nicely held back down. These Detroit aliens like, come here, bitch, and throw down.
And the new one, you did not feel that the passage of time, like you did in the first one, like in the original. The original, they built up
through outfits.
Yeah. They built up to it. They said we built up to the boiler, like we built up to saying, "Hey, this is what happened." Then they were in the present. It was like, this is what's been going. So they built up to the reveal of them coming back. Here it's just like the first 5, maybe 10 minutes, maybe chucking people, throwing people back, chucking people, throwing people back, chuck. Like, why are you introducing all of these people?
Yeah, man.
Now, like I said, I wrote this up earlier, and the original gave this reboot an absolute premise that it can start off.
Yeah, I want to hear your idea. Let's go.
Okay, so going back to the original episode, after the point that they let them go, Ryland says this. Ryland says that each regional Homeland Security office will be responsible for the returnees who settle in their region. And he said, at this point, we will be monitoring 79 plus 135 that have chosen to remain in quarantine for the time being.
Mm-hmm.
So what that meant, if they wanted to do this reboot, they could have picked up with that. They could have still been in Detroit and said, hey, these were the people that left Washington
And went to Detroit.
And honestly, they could have incorporated Richard into this if they wanted to tie in.
That's what I'm saying. At any point in time, I feel like down the line, if they were smart, Richard should be in this. Yo, if they had any money to pay for Mahershala Ali to make a cameo, it would literally be the entire budget that CW probably fucking owns. But like, yo, it would have been the biggest thing that if they get Mahershala Ali on a fucking CW show point blank, especially now, oh boy.
So Mahershala could have definitely made this work.
Yes.
Yeah, and so the fact that the original gave the
he
reboot
literally could have been a guidance. He literally could be a guidance.
Yeah, so the fact that the original gave the reboot an option for their whole premise, and they could have tied up the loose ends from the original,
and they didn't take it.
They didn't take it. Instead, they rest all this. They could have built up. They could have had the whole backstory. They wouldn't even had to recreate the backstory. It's like, hey, from these people, these are the people who left Washington and they came to Detroit. And bam, there you go. Now you got your premise. You could have focused on a small group of people and said, hey, these are the people. And if you want to go drama heavy, listen, you don't even have to pull into the sci-fi but so much. Yep. You could have used the existing seasons and built up built up season to match. So you could start with your one, and your one could have matched their season 1 and season 2 and kept progressing. And y'all could have gave some throwback to say, hey, look, we're watching this in Detroit. We're watching what's going on over there.
Exactly.
And Washington is like, oh, word, that's what we doing. That's what they doing over there.
See, I fucks with your idea, and this just makes this shit very more frustrating, man.
So realizing now that they gave them a pretty good premise, and the fact that the original was ended so abruptly and so open-ended that watching this now, it's like,
listen, this new CW one wanted to be way too pro-black, and at the same time, it was very weird by the way they're doing pro-black. It's one of those things that on the surface it's pro-black, but then when you finally watch it, it's very like weirdly pro-black and ushering a lot of white people going in between the pro-black.
Yeah, it's like I don't like the pacing in the new one. I don't like
how people be looking.
It has potential, but CW is messing it up.
Yeah.
Is it salvageable? Yes. Will I continue to probably watch it? Probably, because I just want to see what they do with it. But
at CW, I'll keep a hint on it. I mean, I'm gonna have my beloved captain. I'm gonna have Kenya be on it, and she'll follow up with me and just keep up with that. So I'll let my girl like just keep up and be on sign with that. So we'll see what's going on with that from the side. But if I had a preference to pick so far out of the one to tell people to continue, that OG looking nice. I continue on that shit. It's on Netflix. Fire that shit up, people.
Yeah, if anybody's watching this, I would advise them to watch the original first so they can see what it was supposed to be versus.
Yeah.
Because I know people that's going to watch the new one, they're going to be confused just because so much is being thrown at them. And I just hope for CW that they flesh out and slow down the pacing a little bit.
I'm
trying to flesh it out.
I'm trying to have Kenya be my sponsor when it comes to watching because I've seen the first episode of the OG, and then for the reboot I watched right after. Now she's gonna come into this thing with no premise of the original, and she's just gonna be watching the reboot, so I want her to give me her opinion on the reboot without any prior knowledge of the original.
Okay.
So I need to know that, because I need to know now that I come in with this concept. Maybe if you just come in there straight like you didn't know this was a reboot, maybe you might enjoy this a lot better. I don't know. So you'll have to. Maybe you're a CW fan. I don't know. You gotta kind of follow up on that.
Yeah, that'll be a good follow up. But yeah, that's definitely a possibility.
Yeah. So with that, if we have any other comments to say, I think we're about to close the book on the 4400.
Yeah. So yeah.
And you said you prefer the original, right?
Oh yeah, I definitely prefer the original, hands down.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna close the book on that main event, the 4400 special. We took down that one for a while.
Yeah, so
So
it definitely went a long
yeah,
time.
yeah, it's been a good discussion on this one. We working into this, and next week it's in the preview for next week. We going down with another special one. We doing it down with BMP, Black Morpher Power, a special. We gonna actually be taking down the famous Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie, the movie that was in theaters, the movie that y'all probably know about her. We gonna tackle that shit next week.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we gonna be doing that. So if you got any questions, comments, concerns, you can always hit us up at the email at blerdbynature@gmail.com, Facebook and Instagram at Blerd By Nature, Twitter, Blerd By Nature, nature spelled Nature. You can find us on all that. All right, you got any last comments before I hit the outro?
No, I think we're good. I think we're good to hit the outro here.
All right, Gucci. All right. So thanks for joining us today for Black Thoughts and Nerd Power. This is Nicholas, Mr. Go with the Flow.
And this is the man with the plan, Maurice.
And this was another edition of the Blerd By Nature podcast. All right, man. We out.
Thank you, everyone. Until next time.
Peace.
Peace.